see who joins us from the very start, and we'll see if there are any major problems, because
I'm also live.
It's not a real Tangent Tavern unless you have a few problems at the start.
Hey, it's been all you the last few episodes.
It has, actually, to be fair, and the fact that we both had headaches last week. We just both... Last week I sent you a message and I was like, really not feeling well, and you replied, you were like, I'm not well either. I'm like, well, that's convenient.
That's very convenient. In fact, it started some, some speculations there.
Did it? That it was ending, that it had finished forever?
Well, no, just that how are we both ill at the same time?
I see. Maybe we were just out at the pub together, chilling out.
Exactly.
Just not wanting to work. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. We both pulled a sickie when we were, in fact, just having a few pints.
Yeah. Well, with this tavern doesn't even start for the next 4 minutes, so this is just like the preamble.
Yeah, this is just the... This is the nonsense section.
This is the adverts you watch before the film starts at the cinema.
Yeah, it is.
What should we advertise, Cal, for the first 4... We're not actually going to advertise anything, but if we have... Do you ever notice how whenever you talk about something that you like, people just immediately assume that you're advertising for it?
Yeah. Budweiser.
Yeah, I mean, you shill. I swear to God, if you actually got a Budweiser sponsorship, I'd be properly jealous.
I'm talking to someone at the moment about a sponsorship that I'm so excited.
Oh, can you say anything else, or is it kind of a secret thing?
I can tell you, I'm talking to MSI.
No! I use MSI monitors. They're really good.
They are. I mean, I use Gigabyte because they were dirt cheap.
Yeah,
but if they gave me monitors, I'd use those.
That's the honesty that you want from someone who's trying to sell you something. Callum's like, I use this because they're cheap and they do the job, but I would use something better if I got it for free.
Yeah,
I'd buy it from that man. I would buy. I mean, what I bought recently. Well, my partner bought it. We're big board game fans. You ever played Gloomhaven?
No, I haven't.
It's huge.
What the hell?
This is £150, but we bought it on sale for 70 because I'm not spending 150 quid on a board game. Basically, it's like a campaign style game. So it comes with a book. So these are all the missions. If you're in chat, by the way, and you've played Gloomhaven, let me know if it's any good. But these are all the missions that you get with it as well. And every one is like you arrange the tiles for the map in a different way, put the enemies there. It's basically like organised D&D.
That's what I was just going to ask. I was going to say, is it like D&D with more structure?
Pretty much, yeah. But I've heard it's really good, and we saw it on sale, so we thought we'd finally, bite the bullet, get Gloomhaven. The rulebook, man, god damn, the rulebook is crazy.
Knock out a tramp with it.
It is. It's huge. It's really huge. But I'm going to try and sit down and work it out. But it looks good. So I think we're going to...
That was me with the D&D rulebook.
Yeah.
When I looked at it, I was like, fuck that.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah. So, right, I think we can officially start now because it's past. So I want to start in the traditional way. Callum, how have you been?
Cold.
It snowed here. Has it snowed there?
Yeah, quite badly.
Oh, really?
I live on a hill that's like that's like more than a 40-degree incline, and I just watch cars all day just slide down sideways into each other, and then look disappointed when they've ruined their new car and they're confused as to why.
Okay, so what you say is we need to get a sled and pop round yours.
Yeah.
If there's if there's snow on the outside, mate, we'll get a sled. We'll pop to Poundland. We'll buy one of those really crap random. It's like a curved plastic bit.
Oh yeah, they're always crack. Right, I've got something to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think this is a thing throughout the whole of Britain.
Mm-hmm.
When the first snow falls, does your neighbourhood have like this massive stakeout where they're all in their windows staring at the grit bin at the end of the road, and you can just see someone picking up a bucket and just legging it for the grit bin, and it's basically battle royale for the grit bin?
I see. Well, this is where our lifestyles differ because I'm much more middle class. So what happens when it snows in us is we all just sit there and watch as the council do it all for us. So grit bin, I know what you mean is those yellow bins that contain salt that people just throw empty McDonald's wrappers in whenever you walk past them on a drunk night out. But how quaint it is. We just sit there waiting for the gritter lorry to come down and sort it all out for us.
See, that's where the issue arises. The gritter lorry can't get up the hill.
Oh, that changes things.
So yeah, we have to grit the hill so that they can get into the streets either side to grit those.
My entire estate was actually probably medieval a few days ago because there was a power cut, but the entire estate for like 2 hours. So everything.
We had one as well. We've been having loads recently.
I know. It's weird, isn't it? I think it's probably... I blame Brexit because
I blame the Bitcoin mining.
It's the import of power has stopped. The buckets full of electricity that were coming in stopped.
Couldn't get it up the hill.
Someone's just put, you have an estate. Okay, when I say estate, I mean like lots of houses.
He's got a villa.
I don't mean that I look out over the peacocks on the lawn and just admire. I'm not landed gentry. It's estate is just what you call an English kind of collection of houses. So no,
most people call those streets.
Yes,
we
no,
don't. We have to. It depends, actually. If you're in like council houses, it's a street. But if it's like proper houses, it's an estate.
Yeah, that's what we've got for. I don't raise the drawbridge up whenever the parcel that I don't want arrives. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got to buzz the Amazon going in through his big metal gates.
Can you imagine? Oh, actually, talking about that, before this whole thing started, we will get to gaming eventually. If you're new to the channel, by the way, we'll get to gaming eventually. We just go off on tangents. Before we started broadcasting for like a minute, me and Cal were talking about house prices because you've been looking for like a house. How's that gone so far, Cal?
It's a disaster. I don't think I'm ever going to have a house. Right, so I was saying to Josh, the only houses near me that are like new build houses are 5-bedroom. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, that's stupid. Why do I need a 5-bedroom house? But then I thought, tax write-off. Studio.
Politicians do it. Why can't we?
Exactly. Studio. Office. 2 other friends.
2 friends.
Yeah, but that's 190,000. Sorry, 390,000.
The 2 friends are paying rent, not tax write-offs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
just take them into the tax
office. Take them to the. No, they're there to do my taxes. I've got one room that's just my tax room, and I'll be like, can you sort this receipt out, please?
So one thing you do say is that the further north you go in the UK, the cheaper house prices get. Okay. So I was looking at this. I was just curious. I was curious. I was just searching for stuff.
Yeah.
For 1.5 million in London, you can buy a house, like 2 bedrooms, centre of London, 1.5 million. There you go. For 1.5 million, I found a 7-bedroom castle in Scotland. And when I say castle, I mean actual, like, 10 acres of land, big thing by itself, frickin' castle. You can go to the roof and just gaze over the land. There's a flag. If a house has a flag on the top of it, it's a castle.
Yeah, and in fact, me and 2 friends were looking at renting out a castle for like a Scotland trip and do even like maybe a meetup there with some viewers or whatever, because we've got quite a lot in Scotland. So I thought we'll go do that, rent a castle, and we looked at the price of renting it, and it was something like £600 to rent it for the week. 3 of you, that's £200. Like,
that's not expensive for a castle. For a week.
And I'm talking a big castle. I'm talking like 14 bedrooms or something.
People in the chat are saying you can buy a castle. You might not understand it if you're not from England or Scotland or Ireland or Wales, but there are castles just around the corner. We don't even find them impressive anymore. Like, you could be driving through an English village and there'd just be like a turret on a hill somewhere that you can just go in, and there's stone steps and you can stand on the top. That's just open to the public. It's kind of there, and we don't really pay attention to them anymore. Castles are just scattered around the English countryside. Does it come with siege equipment, and an army of slaves, though? The siege equipment you can build, and the army of slaves you could probably hire.
I'm pretty sure you get an early repayment reward of a trebuchet or something, at least.
Yeah, I'm glad that you went with trebuchet and not catapult there. Callum is a man of culture.
I am a man of culture.
Superior siege engine. If a house has a flag on the top, it's a castle. When the USA is filled with castles, it is. Legally, it is. So you can actually just go and get like a mansion in Scotland. The further north you go, the cheaper things get. So, Cal, what you were then asking was, if you can find a 5-bedroom house, all you need to do is find 4 other people who you absolutely, completely trust, and I can see no way this would ever go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a few that I might be able to bring in on this, because actually we discussed this as well with my friends. There is a mansion somewhere near Wolverhampton. Don't ask me why there's a mansion in Wolverhampton, but there is.
Wolverhampton. It's not exactly the most prestigious of places.
No, it's really
not. House, mansion.
There's I think it's a 16-bedroom mansion.
That might be enough.
If me and 5 friends mortgaged that, it would be something like £200 to £300 a month per person. That's a no-brainer, and we get like 3 or 4 rooms each.
Yeah, 3 or 4 rooms each sounds fine.
Just rent the rest out.
Yeah, I'm sure that being a landlord to like 15 people, stress-free. Totally stress-free.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Stress-free.
The housing market is ridiculous. You know, many years ago when your parents said, don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about, what we thought was they're going to hit us. What they actually meant was they're going to slowly destroy the housing market.
Yeah.
It was an insidious year-long plan. That's what it was. It wasn't immediate revenge. We kept crying and they were there like, ha, we're going to slowly crumble the economy. No one will ever own property ever again.
It's weird as well. Did you hear this thing? There's government opened up loads of new housing plots for people to pre-buy the house before the house is even there. It's basically Earth 2. But you do actually own the land in this case.
Someone on the government was watching Earth 2 and gone, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it works. We don't even have to have the houses, but no.
Just sell the land.
And an estate agent bot scraped up and bought all the houses before anyone
had
had
I
access
don't
to
doubt that at all. I do not doubt that at all.
The thing that they did, it was supposed to be to do it cheaper, so that millennials and that can actually buy things.
Yep.
Like you can actually get on the property ladder, but in fact, nobody got any of these houses.
No, because it's going to go to people with money already and big estate agents.
Yeah, and literal bots just scraping the website with like parameters of, if it's less than this and it's in this area, buy it. And they just got all the good houses.
It's like how if you play the millennial version of Monopoly, the game starts with all of the houses already owned and you pay £200 every time you go around.
Huh.
That's exactly it. It's as fun as it sounds. That is the millennial version of Monopoly. You cannot buy property and it's just the last person to lose. That's how the game plays. Right, so let's chat about some stuff today, shall we? Let's chat about some stuff. I've got a list. I've made a list of things. Welcome, by the way, if you are brand new to the chat, to the Tangent Tavern. Welcome, by the way. We talk about gaming, mostly.
Some crypto nonsense.
Yes, crypto we need to get onto at some point, because I know more stuff has happened with that, and I know you'll be able to tell me exactly what the hell is going on with it.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Here we go. Right, so first of all, New World.
Right, I've stayed away from this, so you can fill me in on this.
Right, I've tried to stay away, but I have been the target of the latest New World obsessed fan. I don't know if you've met this guy.
No.
Oh, you're going to meet this guy. I'm not going to say his name in the chat because I don't want to doss the guy or anything, but okay. There is a guy on Reddit. He changes his username often. He's got different accounts. He loves him some New World. Okay? He loves him some New World. He will not allow complaints against New World. He hates me. He hates you. He hates Big Fry. He hates Kira. He hates Asmongold. If you say something bad about, New World, this guy is on you straight away.
Okay.
So recently there's been a YouTube change. I don't know if you've seen this as well. You've probably got like 7 emails from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. YouTube email you daily if something changes. And what it is the YouTube change says that certain types of videos are now banned on YouTube, and you cannot deliberately put misinformation in your video. So they've banned videos about flat earth theory, and they've banned anti-vaccination videos, which I can kind of get behind. That's okay.
It's a dangerous precedent, though, doesn't it?
It does, because once you start banning what people can say, it becomes very draconian. And that's when you start... Because people love it when you ban what they don't like.
Yeah.
And then you ban what they like, and suddenly they're going, oh, no, you shouldn't ban this. But the precedent of banning stuff has already been set. So, information has been restricted. Mm-hmm. This guy, however, has taken it to mean any video saying anything negative about not Earth 2, New World, will now incur the wrath of Amazon's lawyers. So this guy on Reddit, he has been kicked off the New World subreddit. He's been banned from it multiple times because he says nothing negative about the game and he attacks anyone who does. He's even gone to the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit, the Guild Wars 2 subreddit, the Elder Scrolls Online subreddit.
Is this who I think it is?
I don't...
Is this bloody Gigabear?
I don't think it's Gigabear, but it's the same level of insanity. I forget the guy's Reddit name, but I'll try and find it at some point for you. So he's been kicked off all the subreddits.
Okay.
And whenever someone puts something on, the New World subreddit, like, New World can't do this, he responds with, well, Final Fantasy XIV can't do it either, Elder Scrolls can't do it either, Guild Wars 2 can't do it either, see, New World is still better.
Strawman arguments to everything.
But I got a private message from him.
Oh.
Hi, Josh. Look forward to Amazon's lawyers taking you down because your videos say lies about New World.
We work for Amazon.
Yeah, reported. So I'm terrified of that. And then the dude posted in my subreddit, which I don't even go on, and he was like, did you know that this happens and this happens under a different name? This time he was, but checking out his history, it's just New World Shill. The guy is dangerous. Someone in the chat just put Josh has a subreddit. Apparently, yes, it's Bezos. But no, I think you will get that because you get obsessed fans, don't you? In anything.
Yes.
In anything.
Absolutely, yeah.
How are the obsessed fans reacting to your latest video on Earth 2? Because Earth 2 seems to... It's not... The rug hasn't been pulled yet. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely...
Okay. So it's not the current Earth 2 video that I'm expecting people to go mad on. It's the next one I'm making.
Okay.
Because...
slowly baiting out the hate, just poking the bear with the stick.
No. This next one's full send. This next one will smash the hornet's nest. Because how do I say it without giving away too much?
Don't give away too much.
I won't give away too much, but spite's a good motivator, as we've said.
It is. It really is. I mean, even Asmongold has tweeted out and starts agreeing with this. Crypto, NFTs, all that kind of stuff, the nonsense with Earth 2 buying and tiles. It's a massive game of financial hot potato, and the objective is to not be left with the potato. However, the potato doesn't technically exist. It's the act of buying something for the act of someone else wanting something. And I think it's going to get to a head eventually, because the numbers in Earth 2 are going up and up and up and up and up, and new people aren't going to want to come into the system anymore.
Yeah. The best example that I can think of for Earth 2 specifically is it's musical chairs, but the chairs don't exist.
Yes, and if you're the last person to sit down, you also owe them a lot of money.
Yeah, the last person to sit down, you're the one holding the bag.
Yeah, it seems like a silly thing to do.
But did you hear? Have you seen my latest video?
Not yet. It's on a to-watch list.
Okay, so recently something happened that might have disproven something important that they said.
Okay.
So
what did
they said that all their tiles are stored on the blockchain, which, as NFTs.
Okay, and the important thing about being stored on the blockchain is they are unique.
Yes.
You cannot have copies or multiples of them. If it's on the block, it's literally one on top of another, building and building and building, and you can't have the same thing twice.
Now, if I told you that someone sent me a screenshot where two people owned the same tile on the map, apparently, or owned a collection of the same tiles... So they've got, let's say they've selected a 10 by 10 grid and purchased it. These two grids overlapped. And they both owned the middle tiles where they intersected. So I looked into it and I went through their tile history of what they actually own. They both own that tile. Which is physically impossible on the blockchain. Because they're both under the same address, which means that they physically both own something on the blockchain. And I said from the beginning, they're not using blockchain. There's no way. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they are. I think it's all database driven, and there's been a conflict because two people bought at the same time.
Well, that's got to be an extremely tight timing if two people are sending exactly the same request at exactly the same time.
So there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Now, this was in Israel, which they released the other week, and they have been plagued with bots eyeing up the land. So these are two bots that had both targeted the same land and done it millisecond one. Right,
okay, gotcha. And as the process was going through, it was approved for both at the same time and came back to both at the same time.
And that leads to another kind of issue. So they said they would be taking land back off of people who botted, which, that's a good thing to do. But if they're NFTs, how can you do that?
Yeah, because one of the whole points of NFTs was they were decentralized, which means they're not specifically controlled by any central body. So if a game, or if it's on the blockchain, has the ability to just take it back, then you don't own it. You don't own anything you're buying. You're just renting it, or you're buying, the provenance from something. If they have the ability to immediately take back what they sold you, then you don't have any control of it.
Nope. And my video was actually quite well received by the Earth 2 community because they were like, yeah, hold on. This doesn't make sense. You're telling us one thing, yet it's provably false.
Yeah.
By your own doing.
I really do think that eventually, slowly, very slowly, the people that have invested money, I believe that Earth 2 is played by two very different types of people. The people who know that they need to make money by selling to other people, and the people who have been taken in, unfortunately, by the marketing and believe they're either going to have a game to play or they're investing in a financially viable situation. And I think those people, the almost unfortunate ones, are going to slowly but surely start to come around and realise they're being taken for a ride here.
Yeah, in fact, Kira worded this perfectly in his last video, and I loved the quote as well. So, have you ever watched The Expanse?
No, I've seen like one episode of it, but it's on the to-do list. It's a long to-do list.
They refer to it. Yeah, they refer to it as the churn. You know, everyone's part of the churn. It's just it's this big circle jerk of I'm going to take money from you and try and stop you from taking money from me.
Right.
And people are all doing that, unaware of the fact that this goes full circle.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just you trying to take money from someone else by, you know, hodling or diamond handing stuff. They're trying to do the same to you. You're not playing the system. You're playing the people that you're trying to earn money with.
And that's what it is, yeah.
It's a bizarre concept.
It is. The entire way of earning money within these closed systems is by convincing other people that you want to help them, and you can help them by them putting money into it. It's conning people face to face. It's conning people with confidence. I mean, that's where the word comes from, the confidence trickster, con man. It's sad. It's really sad. And looking at these NFTs, I don't want to keep going on about NFTs constantly, but NFT, someone tweeted out recently, and I believe it's true, NFTs are almost a speed run in helping people understand why we have banking regulations. Because someone will buy an NFT, they will lose it, it will get stolen, they will discover it's a scam, and they will run to some authority in order to help them. And then they'll realise the whole point of it being decentralised is that there is no authority. There is no help.
It's a catch-22 situation, because all these people that are having their NFTs stolen... Oh, by the way, very quickly, Andreas, thank you for the £50. And he says, Josh, I spent way over $1,000 for Buffy comics, so the game is cheap.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's a better use of your money, actually.
Yeah, they're probably going to appreciate in value. Because they're pretty cool.
Exactly.
I mean, I spend a lot of money on mugs. I'm hoping these are my physical NFTs. I hope these appreciate in value.
They're a tax write-off anyway, so could you imagine having to tax write-off your mugs?
I would try.
Yeah,
I would sit down with Mr. Taxman and I would try.
Yeah. If not, you can just start using them as weapons. But here's the thing that I would be okay with NFTs if one thing was true, that the image itself was on the blockchain. That would fix the entire thing.
But it's not. It's the number associated with the image is on the blockchain, and the image is just publicly available wherever.
Now, I learned something about OpenSea, which is the biggest NFT marketplace recently.
Oh, yeah. So
if you see an NFT that's got a little snowflake in the corner, it means that the metadata is frozen. It means it can't ever be changed by the uploader. It is frozen as is. Okay. And that gets uploaded to decentralized storage.
Okay.
Which is kind of on the blockchain. It's decentralized, which is the main thing. OpenSea can go down. You still own that image. Now, that's okay. But they need something to better tie decentralized storage to NFTs, because there still needs to be that link in between.
Okay.
To say that you own this thing in this storage. It's like two separate containers, but you're saying they both belong together.
Right.
If it's the same container that you own, that the image is tied to, that solves the whole thing. But it can't be done yet.
What saddens me is the people who know exactly how NFTs work know that they will only make money if other people buy it off them. And the people who don't quite know how it works, who are being convinced to buy them by the people who know exactly how it works, are the ones who are being duped in this, are the ones who are unfortunately going to be the victims of it. If you understand exactly how this system works, you know the system is only going to make you money if you bring more unwilling people into it. And if you don't know exactly how it works, and you get taken in by these people, that's when you're going to lose your money.
Yeah.
If you can't explain exactly how a financial system works, don't put your money into it. Yeah. That's the best advice that I can possibly give people with money. If you could not sit down and explain every single step of the process and exactly how it works with everyone involved, don't risk your money in it. Because otherwise it is a risk. It's a gamble. You might get it back, you might not. Who knows? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever asked you this, Josh. Are you invested in any crypto or?
No, I honestly don't even know that much. I mean, I get how it works, but I don't have a wallet. I don't buy anything like that. What do I invest in? I've got a couple of Magic the Gathering cards. I've got far too many old video game cases. I've got some board games. I've got a PlayStation 4 VR headset that I don't have space to use anymore. I bought a Attack on Titan pocket watch when I was going through my Let's Own pocket watches phase.
That's actually pretty cool.
It is cool. I've got a little box here of stuff that I like that I don't find any use for. So there's an Attack on Titan pocket watch that you press the little top for, and it opens up and it's an actual pocket watch.
Okay.
I've also got a pair of Battlestar Galactica dog tags, which have my name and birth date engraved on them. So the Battlestar Galactica TV reboot, everything has the corners cut off it. So these are little six-sided doctors. Have you seen the Battlestar Galactica reboot? Because there's actually a really interesting story.
I haven't.
So it's really interesting. If you've seen the Battlestar Galactica on chat, let me know. But Battlestar Galactica is kind of like Star Trek, but more retro. In Star Trek, everyone has the most advanced possible ships. You know, it's super-duper advanced technology. The plot of Battlestar Galactica is, in the future, humanity has this huge fleet of warships called Battlestars. And Galactica is one of the oldest ones. And during a demonstration of humans' military power, they get attacked by this really advanced robotic race called the Cylons. And the Cylons use incredibly advanced viruses to just wipe out humanity's computer systems. Because Galactica is so old, it doesn't have advanced computer systems. So it's actually it's the only Battlestar that survives because of how shit it is. And then
that's actually really cool.
So it has to flee into space along with a small contingent of human survivors, and they're escaping from the Cylons, and the only reason they survive is because they don't have the technology that made everyone else so impressive. So they're still manually fixing missile bays with the big wrenches and everything, and they're still having to, physically carry all the ammunition around. It's proper old school. But one of the cool things in Battlestar Galactica is when you watch it, the A4 pieces of paper have the corners cut off for some reason. Just a little tiny bit of the corner cut off. And then anytime there should be a square door, there's a little bit of the corner cut off. A little kind of angle there. It's really weird. And I was watching a documentary about why this happens. Everyone thought it was just space paper, futuristic shit. Turns out that the director was contacted by the TV station constantly, who was supplying money for Battlestar Galactica, and they kept telling him to cut corners, with money, save money, cut corners. And he got so pissed off, he just made an entire team whose literal job was to cut the corners off everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when the TV execs...
pettiness at its best.
And when the execs came down, they're like, are you cutting corners? He's like, every damn day. The paper, corners cut off. The doors, corners cut off. The dog tags, corners cut off. Everything. And I thought that was brilliant. That is awesome. That is you levels of petty.
I was just about to say that is something I would do.
Yeah, you would
entirely.
Yeah, I've also got a little watch that has the Final Fantasy Advent Children logo in the centre of it.
Very nice.
Final Fantasy Advent Children was a strange film. Did you ever play Final Fantasy VII?
I didn't.
Okay, so Final Fantasy, and this is the tangent I'm going to go off in a second. Final Fantasy VII was an exceptionally good Final Fantasy. It's actually where my name Strife came from, because the main character, Cloud Strife, he was my favourite character in video games for a long time. And then they started the Final Fantasy VII Extended Universe, where they did extra games and stuff. But what you might not have noticed, if you're a fan of the Extended Universe, guys, is they're all alphabetical. Final Fantasy A, Advent Children. B, Before Crisis. C, Crisis Core. D, Dirge of Cerberus. It keeps going on. E, Ever Crisis. F, Final Zero. G, G-Bike. They're releasing them as they go, following the letters of the alphabet. So Advent Children was the first kind of extended version of the Final Fantasy VII one. I thought that was cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, just random fact. And the final thing in my little random... F was First Soldier, wasn't it? And the final thing in my little random box of stuff is the Even Star from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've got one somewhere.
Hell yeah!
I've got an actual ring, like the one ring in a drawer.
Same. I've got it hung up over the Lord of the Rings book behind me. But I love collecting stuff like this.
One ring.
Nerdy stuff like this, man. I love collecting stuff like this. It just makes me happy. It's just fun little.
I love that all of our nerdy shit is all within arm's reach from where we sit all day. Just,
I mean, yeah, I need it. It reminds me. It reminds me that it's there.
yeah, just got little trinkets just hanging around.
Solus says, I want the Nathan Drake ring. I've actually got Nathan Drake's entire cosplay that I made myself. I think the next big convention is Kittercon, and my partner wants to definitely go to that. So, in fact, we'll be cosplaying for Kittercon. Cal, have you watched Arcane yet?
I was about to ask you this. I am in love. I'm not all the way through yet.
No spoilers in the chats. How good is Arcane?
Fantastic.
The artwork, the plot, the voice acting.
The voice actor. Vander's voice actor, I love.
He's so good, isn't he? He is so good. Do you want to know something cool about Arcane?
Go on.
It's in the top 10 of IMDb already.
Yes, I saw that it was number 2 on Netflix yesterday.
Yeah. I think it may have overtaken Breaking Bad on IMDb as being like...
Really?
Breaking Bad's like 9.4, and I think Arcane's at 9.5 already. It's up there. It is
the soundtrack.
Really good.
Soundtrack, they couldn't have got a better soundtrack.
I mean, they really couldn't. They wrote a lot of the songs for Arcane.
Yes, what is it? Imagine Dragons made a song this specifically for Arcane.
Enemy was a brilliant song. It was a really good song. Yeah, absolutely. Arcane, by the way, is the League of Legends TV show that's on Netflix. There's only 9 episodes right now, but
season 2's been confirmed.
Yes, it has, and I don't know where they're going to go with it, but it's going to be damn good. And I'm going to try and do some cosplay from that. So I don't want to ruin anything for how far you are into it, but I definitely want to make some...
4th episode.
Okay, gotcha. So you've met Jace, the dude that wants to try and find magic stuff.
Yeah. Jace was introduced episode 1, actually.
I want to try and do Jace's cosplay once he gets to the kind of tilt over tech.
That would be really good with the leather.
Yeah, wrist, the little leather thing and the waistcoat
crystal,
and everything.
Actually, that'd be really good. And you got your pocket watches. You can do that. You can do that.
What was it? Because everyone was saying watch Arcane, and then there was another one that everyone had to watch. That was it. Hellbound. You seen Hellbound on Netflix yet?
No, my friends told me to watch it though, so I might.
Anyone in the chat watch Hellbound yet? Okay, so Hellbound is another Korean drama. Basically, it's gone from Squid Game to Hellbound. South Korea is just knocking it out of the park with dramas at the minute. So effectively the plot is, people are randomly getting angels, which are just huge faces, appear to them and tell them that they are bound for hell and will be killed in a set number of days. Normally it's like 5 days. And then in 5 days, 3 massive, huge, hulking brutes appear out of thin air, smash them to bits, do this weird ritual where they stand around their dead body and suck the life force out of them, and then disappear. And no one knows what's going on. And no one can stop it, and no one can, explain it. And it's just about how society is reacting to this new, almost...
phenomenon.
Yeah, new phenomenon that's just carried around. It's brilliant. I really enjoyed it.
It reminds me a bit of another good Korean, I think it was Korean, is Alice in Borderland.
Oh, I missed that when it was on TV. Everyone kept telling me it was really good.
It was really good. It was very similar. It was everyone's got a visa, which is how many days they've got left to live.
Oh, okay,
and they have to complete challenges such as like Mad Max sort of races, and whoever places in the top 3 get 3 days, 2 days, and 1 day added to the visa.
My chat are very angry at you that apparently Alice in Borderland is Japanese. How dare you, Cal?
I said it was some sort of Asian.
Yeah, it's in that. It's east. It's east of the UK, so we get it.
I'm just culturally ignorant.
Yes.
Actually, I should have known that because they. Yep, never mind. That's me being an idiot. It definitely is Japanese. Have
I ever cosplayed Riker? No, but if I do cosplay Riker, I will definitely sit on the chairs by just swinging my leg over them. I will definitely do that. No, Alice in Borderland I haven't watched through yet. So I think that as far as making videos goes, Cal, you've probably been busy with Halo, haven't you?
Oh my god, I have, yeah.
How much time have you lost to Halo Infinite so far?
78 hours.
You know, when I put all those Halo Infinite jokes in one of my video, everyone was like, oh, shilling for Halo, shilling for Halo. No, I just thought it was good.
Yeah, we played a game of Halo and we had a blast.
Yeah, I just thought it was nice. I just enjoyed playing it. Halo's Battle Pass system is, however, a bit of a mess. It's quite expensive.
Yes. There is I think a lot of people are looking at this the wrong way. So we need to remember, because everyone's like, oh, there's no progression that's free. And think about multiplayer in Halo before. There was no progression in Halo multiplayer, ever.
I have discovered this. People seem obsessed with the idea of progressing and being more powerful than others. And a lot of people, chat, push in if you think I'm wrong with this. A lot of people seem to have lost the ability to just enjoy the experience of multiplayer for the experience of multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to remember that the free progression options are going to be part of the game that you buy.
Yeah.
Remember, multiplayer is completely free, but campaign is purchased.
Yeah.
Now, this is the same as every other Halo game, but we're missing half of the story right now. Well, we're missing the entire story, is what I'm saying. When that comes out, it's essentially going to be the same as every other Halo game.
Yeah. Like if you were to buy a multiplayer game,
issue.
if you were to buy a multiplayer game and you sit down and you and your mate have a match, at the end of the match, if you don't get anything, if you don't get, points, experience, a different skin, a different weapon, if all you have is the experience of the match, that should be enough. That's what it used to be. You finish a match of Tekken, that's it. You've finished the match. The fun is in competing against your friend in the thing. But now everyone seems to be looking and saying, I don't like the fact that when I finish the match, I don't get anything after. I don't get any more. I'm not working.
Yeah.
It's that process of working towards something, because progress makes the monkey brain do the happy chemicals. People like seeing numbers go up, and you give them a game now without numbers going up. Did the original Halo on original Xbox, even have any level of multiplayer progression?
Oh, none. You could literally change your armor color. That was it.
Yeah, you just matched.
And that was free.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people are getting angry about, and I don't see why.
Yeah.
So you've always been able to pick your primary and secondary color for your armors.
Yeah.
And you've been able to pick from any color you want. Really simple. And now you can't do that. You need to get armor coatings, which you have to earn or buy. But they've opened up a lot more doors now, because you've got things such as armor that comes with pre-scratched, like
Okay.
So there's a lot more zones that you can color, but you have to pick an armor coating that's got all the colors that you want. And they've done this so that they can do sponsors. That's very obvious.
Yeah.
So people are annoyed that they can't just go and pick their orange and teal that they normally pick.
Okay.
And while I get that, it's no fun for anybody. There's no progression at all if everybody can pick everything. Visual progression is really important for Infinite, because it's going to be the longevity of this game. They need to have so many avenues for reward and keep it going. And the battle pass is a big thing as well in that, because it's a 6-month battle pass, so it's not expensive.
Because I was playing the old Medal of Honor for one of my old Was It Good videos, and Medal of Honor 1, 2, Frontline, Rising Sun had a multiplayer mode, and when you started the game, you got to choose what you looked like, what weapons you were taking in, and then the match started, and that was it. And at the end of the match, you didn't unlock anything. You just started the next match with a different loadout if you wanted to. And I think it got into the kind of, was it Call of Duty Modern Warfare was probably one of the first games that I played for a long time, where as you played on the multiplayer mode, you leveled up, unlocked experience, and this unlocked extra weapons and extra guns and extra classes and extra builds. And now it's seen as a multiplayer mode is not just about having fun playing against other people. It's now a progression-based system, but you progress through playing with other people.
Yeah, it's the live service thing now, isn't it? They need to have something to sell you and keep you going at all times. And
if the gameplay itself isn't enough to keep you around without needing additional rewards to the gameplay, what is that saying about the gameplay? Is it saying that people aren't actually playing for the gameplay? People are playing for the endorphin release on unlock of something?
Here's the thing with me. I like to customize my character to be more unique. I don't want to look like everybody else. And I think that is the progression path in Halo. You just make yourself look different. It's just got the same hitbox still. You're not any more powerful because you've got like more armor and stuff. It's more of a role play thing. Like, I want to dress myself up as a ODST. Yeah. Because I think it's cool. Yep. But it doesn't change anything. And the thing is, Halo's gameplay is incredibly fun. It is. So good. I don't know if you've seen, but I've been doing Halo game nights in the Discord pretty much every other night. I've been way too busy, to be honest, man. Yeah, we just open a 24-person lobby, and as many people that can join as they want, and we have had a blast. Like, the sandbox feel of Halo is back.
Yeah.
Halo 4 and 5 ruined that, but now with the grapple and that, you're just swinging around like Spider-Man. It's such a blast.
People in the chat are saying that this is like a genre shift and a gaming mindset shift away from the experience of enjoying the game itself and toward a progression within the game. So, I mean, I still like PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, and you can start a PlayStation 1 game and you can get no more powerful toward the end of the game. The progress is playing through the story, playing through the game, playing through the experience, and you have everything you need from the start. It's because you take the original Tenchu, which is a ninja-based game on the PlayStation. At the start of the game, you have all the ninja skills you have at the end of the game as well. The training is you progressing through the game. But now, if you were to play that, you would start with nothing and you would unlock stuff as you play more and more and more and more and more, get more and more complicated. Unlocking is something we have been conditioned into wanting as game players. I mean, when was the last time a single-player game released without a load of experience-based unlocks? What can I think? When was the last single-player game without a load of unlocks? Probably like, God of War on the PlayStation 4. But again, that still has a load of levels and unlocks and growing in RPG elements. Tomb Raider, potentially, but even Tomb Raider has RPG and unlockable elements in there as well. It's like people need a metric to compare to someone else's metric. That's exactly what it is.
And that's it. So when people are saying, what's your level on the Battle Pass? That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like, your level on the Battle Pass and mine, you could be 100, I could be 1, and it doesn't make a difference.
People want to track their success at the game against someone else's success at the game, and the only way to do that is with numbers.
And I think it's more the fact that people are forgetting that Halo has always been this way.
Do you think people want trackable success more than gameplay?
Yeah.
Because I think they do now.
Earth 2. Let's look back at that. There is no gameplay.
No gameplay at all. Trackable success,
though. It's trackable success on how much money you've pumped into it. And people will use that as they're the best at this game. No, they literally dumped $1 million into the game.
Yeah.
And now they'll be lucky to get 200k back out of it.
People want to see numbers go up more than they want to play and experience. There's this old question. Would you rather sleep with the person of your dreams but have no one believe that you did it, or not do it and have everyone believe that you did? And sometimes a lot of people actually sit down and think about that question, and because obviously the answer would be the experience but have no one believe me, because that matters to me. But some people care more about what other people think of them and how they are perceived by other people than what they actually experience.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. It's a real crazy thing where, would you rather have £1 million but have no one believe you have £1 million and not be able to prove it, or would you rather not have £1 million but have everyone think you had £1 million and treat you as if you were a millionaire?
Yeah.
What do you guys in chat think? It's almost like the Instagram style lifestyle. Have you seen those influencer houses they rent out for those stupid TikToks and Instagram stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys in chat have ever seen, those, it's a food-based style thing where they'll have like a plate of food in a lovely white kitchen, and the first bit will be like your syrup, and someone will just pour like a little bit of golden syrup on some pancakes, and then it'll be my syrup, and they'll just pour like an entire bucket of syrup onto it, and it'll just splash all over the counter. That's not their house. That house is actually a rented studio designed to do stupid stuff like this in. It's the illusion of you have this house, you live here. There are private jets that aren't even flight worthy. You just hire them out, you walk up and you take pictures by them, in them, on them, but never in the air, because they don't fly. It's the illusion of being rich. What do you think about all that, Cal?
I think it's... We're living in a fake it till you make it society, and it's only going to get worse because of influencers. Yeah. It really will. And I think a lot of people get depressed over this.
Oh, God,
but they don't... Because they don't take a step back and see... It's like someone said to me the other day, they were just like, oh, it's so depressing. Like, 2 people, everyone on my Facebook's getting married. I was like, how many? And they were like, oh, there were 2 people that got married yesterday. I was like, how many friends you got? Oh, 1,900. I was like, so,
it's not that.
What's the issue? You mean you've only seen 2 people get married?
I mean, don't get me started about rich boy flaunting stuff you'll never get. You know what is always weird to me is when people, pose with a load of money. It's very easy to pose with a load of money. You just withdraw all the money you've got, pose with it, and then just put it all back in the bank. It's very easy to make £100 or £200 look like a lot of money, and if you don't care if you spend it, if you then just put it back in.
I actually looked at this for a recent video as well. I needed it for, well, I won't say yet in case it goes ahead, but I was looking at buying fake, stacks of money.
Oh, movie money, yeah.
Yeah, movie money. And do you know what?
Yeah.
You can buy it pre-worn to make it look like it's been exchanged and that, and it's rough and just scrumpled up.
All the money,
really good.
All the money in films, all the money in Hollywood. If you actually look at them close up, instead of saying like $1, it says motion picture on it. It's super obvious that it's fake at a distance. No, sorry, it's super obvious it's fake close up. But if you throw a load of it in the distance, you can't tell. You cannot tell whatsoever. But people do this where you'll see someone posing with a Lamborghini. You don't even need to hire a Lamborghini. You just walk up to the Lamborghini and take a picture.
Hermes has said here, status signaling is a signal of low status. It pretty much is.
Yeah. Anyone that has to say, I am the king, is no king. Everyone from Game of Thrones knows that. And when people like to flaunt how much stuff they've got, that's when you can tell that they care more about
what
people.
You think.
Yeah, they care more about their image. But isn't that a state of the influencer culture that we live in? Because now, YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and influencer is the #1 aspired for job in the UK. They did a study. Primary school kids want to be YouTubers. They want to be influencers. And to be influential, you need to have a lifestyle that people want to emulate. So you can fake that and make people think you have influence.
Yeah, and this is a growing issue. If everybody is an influencer, who are we influencing?
Who are they influencing?
Yeah.
I saw this, again, I'm not sure if they're real or not, but I like to think they're real because it warms my heart. These influencers, and a girl goes to a restaurant, she has a lovely meal, she pulls the manager over, says, that was an amazing meal, thank you very much, it was really, really nice. I'm going to give you a shout out to my 10,000 followers on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And the manager's like, oh yeah, thanks, that's great. And then the girl complained, saying, I gave them free advertising and they didn't even give me a discount. They didn't even knock off an entree. They didn't even give me a free dessert. I gave them free advertising and they didn't even give me any kind of discount. And someone correctly commented, if they'd have given you something, it wouldn't have been free advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, free advertising is the process of you doing something for nothing.
Yeah.
If you're doing something and you demand something in return, that's paid advertising.
Yeah. It's such a weird concept. And I think this all ties back into the crypto stuff again. There's so much misinformation about crypto. I mean, a lot of people know that I am invested in crypto and blockchain-based things where I believe in it.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that are just trying to make it look like they've made a lot of money off of crypto and then shove their referral code, and it's frustrating. It really is.
The people with a lot of money don't want you to know they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's normally how you can tell. That's normally the best way to do it. See, what was the other influential one? That people are saying that Asmongold is actually a pretty good influencer to aspire to be. You know what? If there were more people like Asmongold in the world, like Zach himself, I think the world would be great. Because the guy's really kind.
Honest person.
He's honest, he's kind, he's genuine, he cares about his friends and family. If there were more people in the world like Asmongold, the world would genuinely be a better place. You might hate his character, but him as a person, he's down to earth, he's grounded, and he's cool. I like the guy. What else? Oh yeah, there was hotels. Some hotels I've seen are actually blocking emails from influencers simply because they're asking for free rooms all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine that. Yeah. And I really can.
I saw one hotel respond to it, which I thought was really clever. And this is what they do. If an influencer wants free stuff from this company, what the company does is this. The company sells them the stuff at regular price, and they give the influencer a code. And the code gives people 10% off when they purchase from the company. The influencer gives their code out to all of their fans, and as their fans buy stuff, that 10% off is actually put into a pot. And when the 10% reaches the original price the influencer paid, they give that back to the influencer. And then any more that goes into the pot, that carries on going to the influencer as well. That way, The influencer has to buy the item originally, and then
They
they're
have to
actually
advertise it well.
they're encouraged to advertise it well. And if they aren't confident in their ability to actually advertise a product, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, that's actually that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works for us, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's a way of doing it. They say, hey, advertise this out.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, have Guild Wars 2 got back to you at all? Or have we managed to make a video about Guild Wars 2?
No, I haven't got... I'm still in conversation with them.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that comes through, because I'd really like to do a video on it. I would.
I was super, super happy that I didn't even have to change anything. For anyone in the chat, by the way, this is the truth. I made a video called What MMO Should You Play? And I went through all of the options, and the first option I recommend to everyone is Guild Wars 2. I don't even play it that much myself anymore, but I will recommend it as the first one people try.
Yeah.
Because the core game is free, you've got a bit of
Value
combat,
is good.
bit of jumping puzzle, bit of plot, bit of customization, different characters. There's a lot of stuff to try in it, and I think it gives you like a good overview of everything before you focus in on the elements that you really want to do. And after I'd made the video, Guild Wars 2 contacted me and said, hey, do you want to... Can we sponsor a video? And I'm like, conveniently, yes, you can.
Yes.
So I literally just took the money and ran. I didn't even change the video. I just put in, by the way, this video is sponsored by Guild Wars 2, and just released the video as it was. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell them this. If they hadn't have sponsored me, the video would have been the same.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty good.
That's amazing.
And Zeppler reacted to it. I don't know if you've watched much of Zeppler's stuff on YouTube.
No.
Female streamer who focuses on Final Fantasy XIV. She was a big World of Warcraft person, moved over to FF14. She's now the internet's favourite FF14 bunny girl. She was chatting.
I know who it is, yes.
Yeah. Now, I say bunny girl. Cal's straight on it.
Very aware of it now, yes. Yeah. I've watched them for a long time, yes.
She seemed like a lovely person, and in my video I said don't make one game your entire personality, because then you will see any insult of that game as an insult of you. And Zeppler just paused the video and just stared at the camera, because she knows she's FF14. Now,
yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So she wasn't super, super happy with that. And
no.
Yes, End of Dragons. In fact, that's another big point that I wanted to chat to you about, Cal, because I think you'll be able to help me out with this. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. It is the final wrap-up of a 6-year story. Okay? Every end, tied up. It's coming out in like 5 days. It's going to be massive. It's just all the stories are being wrapped up. Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons, coming next year. It's not the final expansion, it's just the final in this storyline. That's what I should have said. Wrap up of many, many years. And then World of Warcraft saw that they were doing this, and World of Warcraft thought, shit, we should do something like this as well. So I don't know if you've seen it, but Eternity's End, patch 9.2, they are touting as the end of the Warcraft 3 storyline. The storyline that I'm pretty sure ended back in Legion.
I was just going to say, it already ended.
It did already end, didn't it, Cal? So we can agree that Warcraft 3's whole Lich King storyline has already finished.
What?
But Eternity's End, they have actually advertised as the finale of Warcraft 3. And I think the reason they've done this is because they realised Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne, was their best-selling kind of game expansion for a long, long, long time. The most popular Warcraft thing, anyway. And they just fall back on it, like, hey, remember Warcraft 3? And then try and sell people things.
Yeah, but then we get told off when we go, hey, do you remember when Bobby Kotick sexually harassed some of the staff?
He did.
That's not okay to say,
Did.
is it?
I would have happily taken that Blizzard sponsorship had I been invited on a cube crawl. But alas, I was not.
On a cube crawl?
They didn't even invite me. I wasn't even involved. So that way, I thought, no, I'm not taking this sponsor.
Yeah.
I wanted one thing, Bobby. One thing.
Oh, God. I just wanted to be pictured with a painting of Bill Cosby. That's all I wanted.
Our dreams will never come true, Cal. Not with this attitude. Remember the fiasco that was Warcraft 3 refunded? Oh, yeah, Warcraft 3 reforged. And then,
oh, yeah.
Did you buy Warcraft 3 reforged?
No.
Good, neither did I. Did you ever play the original?
It, though.
I was about to say, whether you bought it and whether you played it.
I'm
two very, very separate conversations.
Played it out to spite.
Yeah. But no, if you owned the original Warcraft 3 and you bought the remastered version or the reforged version, it forcefully updated your old copy.
Yeah.
You could not go back and play the original.
No.
Which I thought was dumb.
That's really dumb because they are separate versions of the game.
Yeah, because I liked the original. Original was fine. I've got it on disc somewhere. I just don't want to play it again. It's a real shame. It is a real shame.
It is.
But do you think World of Warcraft are jumping on the bandwagon of everything's ending, we should end too? It doesn't matter that we've already ended before.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what it is, but their player base has dropped drastically since all this Bobby Kotick nonsense.
Turns out a lot of people have morals, so they don't want to support them.
This is the thing. Everyone was like, "Oh, the cancel Blizzard, movement. It'll end soon." It's not. It's got worse and worse.
But a lot of people have said to me it's getting political now, but let's take the politics out of it for a second.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that Blizzard was the best company ever made and everything was, hunky-dory over in the Blizzard offices.
Like they used to be. Yeah.
Do you think World of Warcraft is actually a good game right now?
Right now, no. I quit before this. I quit because it's just like a treadmill rug pull every single expansion. It's just like, hey, all that shit you did, we've reskinned it, we've renamed it, we've put a different interface on it, do it again for the next 3 years. And I'm like, nope, not doing that.
Taking all of this politics away from it, people have asked me why I didn't mention World of Warcraft in my latest Which MMO Should You Play video. It's one, because I'm actively trying to avoid giving Blizzard any kind of publicity on my videos, and two, it's because I just don't believe it's a good game right now.
No,
if you've never played World of Warcraft before, if you have no emotional connection to it whatsoever, and you play it now, Shadowlands makes no sense to you. It's not
it
deep,
doesn't make
it's not
sense
powerful
at all. It's just...
Because the Titans made the world, and now in Shadowlands they're saying the first ones made the world. They're retconning their own in-game lore because they think it sounds cooler.
Did you see the Garrosh cinematic, like the Spirit of Garrosh?
No.
Now, this is embarrassing. Somebody made... Okay, they spent 6 months making this cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful. Somebody made it in 3 days. In like full HD, and it was incredible. Okay. And it got to the point where Blizzard were posting their trailer for this thing. They've got the social media like experts on their Twitter and whatever. Yeah. The person who went to post their like teaser posted the one that someone else had made by mistake because it looked better than the one they made.
That's not a good.
And Blizzard, everyone was like, "You do know you've just posted the fan made one, right?" And they're just like, "What?" And then they removed it later and re-uploaded theirs. And then everyone's like, no, you should have just kept the fan-made one.
Stick with the fan-made one. Because the one thing Blizzard were good at was cinematics. They were good at cinematics. I still remember seeing the cinematic for their cancelled StarCraft game called Ghost, which would have been a first-person shooter set in the StarCraft universe. And it's a real shame that was cancelled because the cinematic was fantastic.
If there's one thing they do, and that's the sort of thing that emotionally pulls me back into every expansion. Now, I skipped the last one.
Yeah.
But the thing that pulls me in are the cinematics.
Yeah, they look great.
I know that the game's not going to be that, but it hypes you up for it.
Diablo 3's cinematics.
Characters up.
When Diablo 3 was announced, the cinematics for it were amazing. Material the Angel. So good.
The Diablo 4 ones.
Yeah.
That cinematic is phenomenal.
Of blood, when it's like that huge, the paper's skin that's come all the way down. Yeah, looks fantastic. So, Blizzard were good at that. They were really good at that. One thing that I've noticed they're doing with their lore a lot, and this irritates me, you can tell it's primary school level writing when the writers do this thing where they think the only interesting thing is more power, more power, more power. Oh, it's anime. Oh, you've beaten this villain. Well, this one's tougher. Oh, you've beaten this villain. Well, this one's tougher. You've beaten this villain. Well, this one's tougher. And it goes up and up and up. And you make your world grander and grander and grander and grander and grander. Oh, you've met God. Well, what about Super God? Oh, you've met Super God. Well, what about the Void? Oh, you've met the
Omega
Void.
God.
What about Omega God? It's bigger. It's Dragon Ball Z. It's DC Comics. It's more and more and more and more and more. Whereas sometimes the most interesting plots are more human. They're more grounded. They're more based in reality.
Like, the best example of this being dumb was where you take Sargeras. Well, you fight... no, it's Kil'jaeden. You fight Kil'jaeden on the ship, and then you meet Sargeras. And he pulls out his massive sword and stabs it into Azeroth.
Pretty epic moment. Pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. But then the ramifications of that is just that there's now a big model that looks, because it's so big, right? They had to do it to scale.
Yeah.
This big sword model in the game that's so big that you don't even know it's a sword. You walk right past it and you think it's like a wall.
Yeah. I flew up to the top of it and jumped off with a demon hunter and thought, this is fun. You probably shouldn't think this is fun. You know, when you see my canon lore in my own head is that when that sword got stabbed in, everyone died.
Yeah.
That's it. That was the end. Everything from then on is just fan fiction.
Like, someone was pointing out that there was a berry bush right next to it where the berries hadn't even fallen off. Like, can't have done that much damage.
Yeah, that sword destroyed the world. That was it. Sargeras won. That's what happened.
Do you know what? I got told what the issue was. So when they were writing Warcraft and they'd got all the original Blizzard employees, you know, all sit in an office together making the game themselves, they had written so many loose ends into the Warcraft story that World of Warcraft could, you know, become a thing. So there was at least 6, I think they said 3 to 4 expansions were written ahead for Warcraft.
Yep.
So then it was all canon stuff. But once we'd killed Deathwing, once we'd killed the Lich King, once we'd killed Illidan and then resurrected him because we didn't kill him, he, you know, all that sort of stuff, they were out of, like, vanilla enemies.
Yep.
So now they haven't... All those enemies were built up over, like, 3 expansions, so 6 years in some cases.
Yeah.
And now they have to build up enemies... like Yasharaz, or whatever it's called, from Pandaria. That enemy had to be built up in 3 months to be this big bad.
Yeah.
And then they knocked it down in 3 months. And it's just like, you don't give people enough time of attachment.
And then all the old gods are back. The dinosaurs are here. Oh, we've stopped the old gods. That's fine. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, and it's just like, what's his name? The
fact that you had to say what's his name actually proves that he's a crap villain.
Well, no, this is the thing, though. This was going to be my example for a good villain.
Okay.
But I forgot his name. The dragon dude turns into the black dragon.
In World of Warcraft.
Yeah, and he's been there through loads of expansions.
No, can't remember that guy.
God damn it.
Not Deathwing. Not Deathwing?
Not Deathwing.
Rathion?
Rathion, that's it.
Rathion.
Rathion's been there, like, plotting through the last 3 expansions. And he's, like, the perfect chance to reveal a new big bad, because it's not a new big bad. It's a guy who's been seeking power for the last, like, 6 years again. That
is the best way to do a villain. A villain is a hero from their own perspective, and that's the best way to do it. I think that in a second we'll talk about who the greatest fictional villains are because of the audience connection to them. I think you and me have already got exactly the same one in mind. I haven't asked you. Let me just double check. Hang on, I forgot the dude's name. I know exactly who he is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So a villain is someone who is a hero in their own story. Supernatural, the TV show, did this by... this was one of the biggest flaws. They killed the devil. Where'd you go after that? And then more, and then more, and then more, and then more, and then more.
Yep.
The most endearing villains are things who have vulnerabilities and flaws, who overcome those vulnerabilities and flaws by being smart, by being clever, by being charismatic. Who do you think the best villain is then, Cal?
The best villain has to be Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Gus from Breaking Bad.
Has to be for me.
Because he's so normal. And yet
he's a great character.
So intimidating. He is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Gus from Breaking Bad, so scary. Yeah. And they build him up and build him up and build him up and build him up and they beat him. David Tennant and Jessica Jones. Yeah, absolutely. All these, the creepy villains. Do you think we could do a good villain that isn't like super overpowered? That's just powerful enough to be a danger?
Yeah, of course you can. Arcane just did it.
Yeah, they did.
Silco.
In fact, oh mate, when you start meeting the villains in Arcane, Silco's a great villain. Because
Silco's an amazing villain. He's got a backstory and he wasn't always this way.
Yeah, and he's vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
He is vulnerable, he's got weaknesses, and he fails. I like it when you see villains fail at what they attempt to do and then pick themselves back up and then try again and then pick themselves up and then try again. That's the villain that you almost want to root for them because you're looking at them thinking, I can see a lot of human qualities in you.
And you see their thing from their point of view. So like when Silco's explaining about the lanes, fighting back and whatever, you kind of get it. And you sympathise with him. but you also think that's not the right way to do it.
Yeah. And in World of Warcraft, I know they've gone with the Jailer now, which is meant to be someone even more powerful that controls, eternity.
He's the Death Lord of the Death Lord.
Yeah. If Sylvanas were to have just taken the Frozen Throne, taken Frostmourne and the helmet, and just put it on, and became the Lich Queen, at least you would have had Sylvanas built up. You would have known her story. You would have known what she wants to do. You would have known what she's trying to achieve. But the fact that they went, okay, yeah, let's just take Sylvanas and make her a pawn to this dude that you've not really had a chance to know. And by the way, he's the big bad guy now, go and kill him. That's what irritates me the most about World of Warcraft. Its writing is literally, hey, here's a new expansion with some systems that you've seen before that we've put a new coat of paint on. This is the big bad guy. Go and do some raids. Buy some mounts in the shop.
Yeah. It's they think up the story until they release the expansion, and then they're kind of just doing it patch by patch as they go. They're like, oh shit, we need a story. Get onto the writing team. It's coming out in a month's time.
Yeah.
And then the next 6 months of you playing that patch is there, and then they need to come up with another and another.
Yeah. Very few people play World of Warcraft for the story anymore. I think it's finished.
That's what got me into it.
Yeah, the story was great.
Got me into it, and then it ran out.
I bought the book. I bought the huge, big visual spoiler guide. Now I sat through it, reading about the Titans, reading about Sargeras, reading about all the elves. I loved it.
The little panda, like the.
That's great.
The collector's edition.
They were lovely, weren't they? All that stuff was great, and now the story is just there. They've completely dropped the ball on it, which I think is a real shame because they've gone more power. I will tell you the exact moment, and I think everyone in the chat will, I hope they'll all agree with me, the exact moment the World of Warcraft, I realised the writing got bad. And I think it was in Battle for Azeroth. And I can explain why. If you look at the actual boxed cover of Burning Crusade, just using the words The Burning Crusade and the fact that the cover had a huge big kind of flame elemental on it, who do you think the bad guy is in The Burning Crusade? It's the same three words. It's The Burning Crusade. It's about them. It's entirely about them. That's completely what it's about. Wrath of the Lich King. What's that expansion about? Anyone in the chat want to have a guess what Wrath of the Lich King might be about? It's about the Lich King and his wrath. Mr. Pandaria. It pretty much takes place in Pandaria.
Yeah.
Okay. Cataclysm, with a huge picture of Deathwing on the front. Deathwing's involved. Battle for Azeroth is a picture of a human soldier and an orc facing each other. What's that expansion about? It's about Mayan dinosaurs. That has no connection whatsoever to the expansion name, or to the villain, or to anything that goes on. Do you know why I bought Battle for Azeroth? Because I stupidly thought it was about humans versus orcs, which happens to be what World of Warcraft was about the entire time.
It was supposed to be a return to form.
It was. They literally said World of Warcraft's going back to basics, Battle for Azeroth, humans versus orcs, Horde versus Alliance, and I thought, brilliant, I can get into this game because I like the idea of Horde versus Alliance, because the original Warcraft was called Humans versus Orcs. And I bought it, and then I got told to go and deal with some dinosaur-based shit for some elder god that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't think they know what they're doing.
No, they didn't. They really didn't. And I'll tell you what angers me. The first expansion, World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade, is about the Horde and the Alliance putting their differences aside and fighting the Burning Crusade for the safety of Azeroth. And then Wrath of the Lich King is about Horde and the Alliance putting their differences aside and forming the, what was it called again? Was it the Scarlet Crusade or the something Crusade?
Yeah, I think it was.
And
Scarlet Crusade.
Fighting against the Lich King. Someone in the Crimson something. Someone will correct me in the chat. And then the Argent Crusade, that was the one, the Argent Dawn. And then Mr. Pandaria. Put your differences aside, explore Pandaria, fight the Ancient Evil. Cataclysm, differences aside, fight the Ancient Evil. Every single expansion is one thing. Put your differences aside and fight this bigger evil. That's
factions
all it
almost
is.
Don't matter.
No,
anymore.
they don't. They don't. Why are the Alliance and the Horde even warring when they've saved Azeroth like 8 times together?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are more shared heroes on both sides who fought on the same side in a battle than there are enemies at this point.
Like Saurfang and Greymane. were supposed to be friends based off of, their 6 encounters together.
Yeah.
And then Battle for Azeroth is now just Greymane versus Southfang in the trailer, and I'm like, what the...
Yeah. Why is this happening?
They've literally been friends forever, and now you're telling me because their leader's just gone, oh, we now hate each other.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is a mess of a story.
They could do something really cool by introducing a third faction.
A lot of other games do this. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online's got 3 factions going on with it. RuneScape's got the 3 main gods. I know you've got loads of other gods, but they've got the main 3 of Saradomin, Zamoth, and Guthix. What else? Final Fantasy XIV has got... They've got the 3 factions that you can join from there. New World has... That's a game.
Yeah. By the minimum definition, yeah.
Have you seen the player count?
Oh, it's plummeted, hasn't it?
It's gone from 900,000 people to like 70,000. And 70,000 is still actually enough to sustain a game. The difference is you've gone from 900,000 to 70,000. If you'd have gone from nothing to 70,000 and stayed there, we'd have gone, sweet, you got 70,000 people.
Player numbers are more about retention than the actual number itself. If the discrepancy between what it was and what it is, if that's massive, you fucked up. It doesn't matter how many you've still got.
Yeah, it's very easy to get a player. It's very hard to keep a player. When you release your game, player count's high, and then it always drops low. That always happens. It doesn't drop 90%. The fact that you can't keep 90%... You know what I'm thinking of doing is making a video just called New World Timeline of a Failure. And I'm going to go through day by day, week by week, exactly what happened. Did you see when they refunded everyone's gold?
You could go through hour by hour, to be honest.
Hour by hour with videos. Did you see when they refunded everyone's gold and got it wrong?
I'd heard about this.
They gave everyone in New World some gold. And they were like, hey, trading post's been down. You've missed out on some stuff. Here's some gold. But they got the 0 in the wrong place. So they gave people between 50,000 to 300,000 gold each. And the economy's fucked. Because people were suddenly given an injection of 300,000 gold coins, and they bought everything on the auction house because it was listed for, thousands. Some people got like 100k, and they just bought all the items and then relisted it for loads. They've also increased the leveling experience now, so the experience you need to get from level 120 to 200 is now way bigger. Like, way bigger. But
it just feels like someone's hired Doofy or Forrest Gump to just run the back end of the game. What?
Yeah.
How can you mess up? Surely at this point you'd be thinking, right, all eyes are on us. We fucked up everything in the last month. We just need to get this 0 in the right, this decimal in the right place. Oh no, we fucked it up.
But if you leveled to 200 before these changes, you remained at 200. If you were level 120 before the changes, when the changes happened, you now won't be able to get to 200 anywhere near as fast as the other people. So the people that have been playing since day one have a massive advantage. An absolutely massive advantage.
So that means that there are players that are... Me and you could be both at level 200, but I could have a different XP total to you. Because I got it prior to the thing. Because I can tell you now that there's a ton of issues that's going to come along with that.
That might be the way it's done. I'm not exactly sure how they've done it, because I know they've increased the amount of experience you need to get from level to the next level. They just haven't changed the level you were at. So yeah, they've changed that around a lot. It's a grind now, and people are actually starting to say in the New World forums, level 60 is the maximum combat level, 200 are the skills that we're talking about specifically. People have actually been saying in the chat now, in the New World forums, hey, I've got to level 150 in the skills, I've got to level 60 maximum. Turns out there's not much to do in the game. Even with the expansion, there's not much to do.
And the expansion broke more than it fixed anyway.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, like the Void Gauntlet did less damage than the healing staff or something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how?
It's not very
Who
balanced.
tested this?
When we say expansion, we mean just like small bits they've added on, patching stuff, not like a major expansion. When the major expansion kicks in, I think what we'll see is we'll see how many people buy it, and that will give us an average, player number for it.
Oh, definitely.
Because people have said it's down to like, 80, 90k, and even World of Warcraft's on about 100k players daily.
There was a comment on my video. So I made a DreamWorld video last week, and DreamWorld have started their redemption arc.
Oh, God, okay. Come on, I hope they can do this.
Yeah, I really hope they can, because it would be like a nice write-off for the story, going full circle. So I was amazed at the fact that instead of 18 gigabytes for the game, it was all of a sudden 6.
Okay.
They stopped packaging Unreal Engine content in it and only packaging what was meant.
Right, because you don't need to give someone the entire engine.
No, the game is so smooth.
Okay.
I'm actually able to record it now.
Oh, wow.
Without issues.
Because what really set me on edge from their very first video, and people in the chat, you can just let me know how you think of this. They said the world was going to be procedurally generated. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't necessarily have a server, it would be player to player.
Yes.
So think about this. Think about this practically. You and me both start in the same place, and the world around us has not yet been generated.
Yeah.
You run east, and I run west, and we just run for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
The world that you generate, when I go and visit it, I must visit the same thing. I can't generate a different world where yours is, otherwise we wouldn't be able to meet up. So if I run 100 miles west and you run 100 miles east, and then we turn around and run back, somewhere the data must be stored for what the world looks like.
Yes. So, from what I can tell, update to update, they're slowly moving away from their peer-to-peer reliance, and it's server-based now.
Oh, good, like all the other MMOs.
Yeah. And they seem to be making improvements, like, weekly now. I actually had a video where I couldn't complain about anything. Like they put out a week of updates, and they worked.
I think what we're seeing here is, I don't know Zach and Garrison personally, but they strike me as, again, if I'm wrong, I'll apologise, they strike me as the kind of people who start projects without having any idea what to actually do.
100%. 100%.
Because maybe it's a case of, if you've got money, you can just try something and keep throwing money at it until it succeeds. Maybe it's a case of, if you've been coddled your entire life, you can just try stuff. And if it fails, that's all right, someone else will pick you up. But it really does seem to me like two kids promised the most amazing video game ever without having ever made a video game, and then realised making video games was actually quite hard.
And here's the thing, that's okay to do. Lots of people do it, but don't ask for money until you've at least provided some proof of you doing that. And I think that's where they've realised that every other industry, you know, Bluetooth speakers and that, you can do that, no one cares.
Yeah.
But when you do it to the gaming industry, the claws are coming out.
Turns out that the MMORPG genre has slightly more dedicated fans than the Bluetooth speaker kind of area does. No one cares if your Bluetooth speaker fails. You take money off people to make an MMORPG and you don't make it, you're going to have people asking, why haven't you made this? Yeah. You know what? A gaming creator that I really respect, I might not always like his games, but I really respect the dude, is a guy called Adam Bonn. Adam Bonn made Adventure Quest.
Yep.
I've read Adam Bonn's life. The dude was making Flash games when he was in school, and he made a Flash game. It was crap. He made another. It was crap. He made another. It was crap. Adam Bonn made about 1,000 Flash games before he finally made Adventure Quest, and it was crap. And his friends said, hey, put it online anyway. So he did. And some people played it, and they offered feedback, and he improved it, and improved it, and improved it. And then he made Dragon Fable. He made MechQuest. He made loads more, and now he's made Adventure Quest 3D. The dude has done really well, but he did it by failing repeatedly to get good at the thing he wanted to get good at. And I feel that Zach and Garrison haven't gone through the failure stage yet before they make something good. Yeah,
I completely agree. This is their first game, and they absolutely shouldn't have took money up front for it, with claims of being able to make, you know, the metaverse essentially.
Yeah.
But if we look at it objectively, let's say that everything is the same, right? Let's say the fiance BS and all that, the fake diamond ring and whatever, that's all still happening, right?
Yep.
But they didn't take any money at all for this. They wouldn't be caught up in a storm.
No.
Because it's a project.
They promised a playable alpha.
But instead they were getting donations towards learning Now, like I say, it's a best case scenario if they can pull off a redemption arc. One, our content can continue because it's it's a good laugh to follow.
Yeah, keep making it.
Whether they're succeeding or failing, I'd like to think the content's still fun. But not only that, the people who paid get something.
Yeah.
That they paid for.
The most important thing here is the players.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. The most important thing are the players who want to get a playable game and a playable experience. They are the people that we want to advocate for, and will always be advocating for. So if we can get them something enjoyable, great. I mean, how many Kickstarter projects actually succeed? Not many. Not many Kickstarters succeed.
No.
It's scam center, Kickstarter, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is.
As long as DreamWorld don't start selling NFTs or cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Earth2.
Yep.
Their main developer left.
Oh. Okay. I didn't realise they had a developer.
Yeah, you've probably heard his name, Wolfgang Walk.
Oh, yeah, I've seen... Wolfgang was pretty... He was...
Competent.
He was competent, and he was pretty focused on defending the game whenever people kind of brought up bad things about it.
Yeah, so he's the chief creative officer, or whatever it is.
So he's the chief map box downloader.
I need to show you something after this video.
Okay.
To do with Mapbox. This is you will piss yourself when you see this.
Okay.
But he has been very vocally against cryptocurrency being added to Earth 2 since the beginning.
Right.
And he left, and when he was asked why, he says, I can't say, I'm still under NDA, which means it's something to do with the company's direction.
Gotcha.
I can guarantee Earth 2 is going to see cryptocurrency in the next couple of weeks. Because once again, Shane is still promising every week something big's coming next week. It's huge. And then the next week, the only thing that we hear is another tweet of him saying something's coming next week. It's huge. So he's promised about 15 different things, and no one knows what any of them are or if they even exist.
Didn't he promise something big that will be tweeted out by the end of November?
Yeah, it came and went, nothing.
It's November 29th, Cal. Where's the big Earth 2 update?
There's nothing.
Where's
He's
the
announced that PvP is coming.
Oh, good. Excellent. Is it going to be pay to win? Because if it's not, what's the point of the game?
I think it's just PayPal versus PayPal is what it means.
Yeah.
But
because they have that drone game, don't they?
Okay. So this isn't officially out anywhere, but I can confirm that this is happening. They're buying out the drone studio as Earth 2.
Oh,
and
okay.
I can guarantee that the reason they're doing that is to stop Nathaniel, their other developer, from leaving, because that's his studio.
I thought Nathaniel was pretty big and involved in it. He was like a focused fighter of Earth 2. He loved it. I thought he was really into it.
Yeah, but he's also the one who makes assets for the asset store.
Okay.
So I'm really confused. Like, this is the part that's always made me feel really uneasy. Because when I pointed out that all the Unreal Engine... that all the trailers and that were just assets off the asset store, Nathaniel was like, yeah, but they're my assets. And I'm like, why is a multi-million-dollar company selling their assets for their game that they're making? Because they are his assets. He has made them.
There's no game here.
That's the thing.
I think what scares me is how cult-like the devotion some people have towards Shane is. Because I saw a tweet from someone saying, Shane tweeted out something, and I excitedly stood up and told my family, and they didn't even care. Yep.
And it's just like, it's you're right, it's just a bunch of bootlickers.
You're
that's
raising,
what it is.
You're raising what... This is the life of Brian. This is the plot of the life of Brian. Where a load of people who want something to happen raise some random dude up to the level of profit and just follow it's a sect. It follows everything he says. This is really strange. Like,
It's bizarre.
I tweet out absolute bollocks, I don't expect anyone to follow it. I've started using Twitter as a personal to-do list because it's easier for me to check up on than my notes on my phone. I just tweet out shit that I need to get done during the day in the morning and then go back and check. For some reason, people comment on this.
My favourite bit of this is I commented on Shane's last tweet. I don't know if you saw it because it blew up. Shane was saying something like, it's been almost a year since we released our big picture. Are you ready to see what's coming next? Like, another tease as usual. And I said, mate, you released a big picture a year ago and you proceeded to cut it into tiles and sell it.
Yeah.
And then people started debating with me. Well, not debating with me, just throwing harassment at me.
Yep.
And then it turned round to 3 members of the Earth2 community saying that that they're ending this conversation with me for using a racial slur. And even Kira jumped in. He was like, "What are you even reading? Where's this come from?"
Yeah.
They can't defend themselves in a way that makes sense to everybody, so they will just attack someone else.
One of my absolute favourite songs, and everyone should go and Google this right now because it's fantastic, is called Cult of Personality. It's a phrase, it's a psychological idea. It's not about the message. It's not even about the doctrine. It's not about the idea. It's about who is delivering it. And if you love the person delivering it, you'll believe what they say. Yeah, CM Punk, Cult of Personality, one of the best. It's Living Colour, that's the name of the band that did it. Absolutely phenomenally good song. I think one of the hit songs, and they say it's the lyrics, like Mussolini or Gandhi, and it's 2 completely separate, political stances. But actually, when you look at the cult of personality, people believe it because that person said it. Yeah. And I believe we're getting into that now with game developers. We're getting into it now with any kind of creative person. You believe it because someone you like said it. And that's bad. That's really bad.
Like I said earlier, this is where the whole cryptocurrency investing thing's falling through for a lot of people. Because if you're taking financial advice off a YouTuber, I mean, and I will say this before I even continue, don't even take financial advice off me. I'm not a professional at it, but like if we look at the whole race at the moment between crypto exchanges, you've got Coinbase paying billions, well, millions, I think, to get in music videos and stuff. Like in Tiesto's latest music video, they've got Coinbase on all the phones for some reason. And then you've got crypto.com, which has now just bought the Staples Arena advertising rights in LA for the next 20 years for 700 million. And there's a lot of people promoting these things on both sides, saying that this is the best exchange. It's like, objectively, it's not. It's because you've said it. It's a tough one. But I'm quite happy because I just got a mega payday from that. So
sweet, well done.
From my investments, yeah. It was very good.
I am going to give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I will give you financial advice. Drink more water. This is to everyone in the chat as well. Move more. Go and subscribe to Callum's Twitch. There we go.
That will Callum's Twitch to the moon. Yeah.
That is my financial advice. Because you're not going to get anything for it other than high quality entertainment repeatedly. There's no progression. You don't get a little level up bar. You don't get a different skin or a different colour. You just get the knowledge, the nice, happy, warm, fuzzy feeling that Cal is able to, carry on doing Twitch streams. Which I think is good. Yeah. Drink more water. Drink more water. Move more. Eat less sugar. Because if you eat less sugar, you're spending less money on chocolate. There you go. Fantastic.
That's true. That's very, very true. Sleep more.
Sleep. Oh, God. Mate, I've been terrible with sleep recently.
I woke up at 2 p.m.
Do you get into that editing zone when you're there, you're cutting, you're sliding, you're cutting, you're sliding, you're going to get a cup of tea, you come back up, and you're like, why is the sun up? I'm pretty sure I started this edit, and it was a 10-minute edit before bedtime, and now the neighbour's going to work.
Yep, that's going to happen tonight, because after this I've got to record some footage for the DreamWorld video tomorrow, and then I'll edit it, and I want to get it ready so I don't have to get up tomorrow and do anything with it, which I still probably will.
Does anyone else in the chat do that? When you get into like the zone of this, the project zone, and you just start working on something, and you forget to eat, you forget to sleep, you have to remind yourself to drink water, and then you're there like 8 hours later thinking, I'm really hungry and tired, and then you realise...
I did this like 2 days ago. I was remaking with one of my patrons. I was remaking another game, if we can call it that, out of spite. And me and him just had like a 8 or 9 hour programming session. And I looked at the clock. I was like, oh, 7 a.m. Should probably go to bed. I do it often.
My clock on my PC is now just 4 little numbers. I don't even look at what they say anymore. It's weird though, because once you go from... I hate this. This is something I really hate. If you have a full-time job, you probably work for someone else between 8 to 10 hours a day. Sometimes 8 hours a day, 9 to 5, but you've got commuting to think of as well. A lot of people travel to their jobs. And you get these really pretentious people saying, don't work for someone else for 8 hours a day and then not come home and work for yourself. And I'm thinking, that's good advice, but you have no idea how tiring it is to work for somebody else for 8 hours a day. You get home, you're shattered. You are tired.
It's hard to break the chain, isn't it?
It really is. What you ideally want to do in an ideal world is work for someone else for 8 hours a day, come home, work on your own thing for 8 hours a day, and then get 8 hours of sleep. That is a perfect world, if that could all happen. But unfortunately,
Netflix exists.
Netflix exists. Tiredness exists. Being drained exists. If those people don't have a commute, I hate it when you get success. I've managed to succeed. You've managed to succeed.
Yeah.
We worked for other people for years. We had jobs for years, and we came home, and we would have loved to do that whole, hey, yeah, let's work on my own thing for 8 hours a day. You're lucky if you get 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You're lucky if you get 3 or 4 hours to do your own thing. It's
100%.
Absolutely insane. I mean, what's like the worst advice that you've seen for building yourself? Because you always see it on Facebook or you see it on Twitter. And people give you advice like it's so easy to fix your own life.
Right,
it's
okay.
So easy. It's not. It's really freaking difficult. It's so easy I want to do it.
I am in a Twitch content creators kind of like help page on Facebook. And I've been in there for years, and I don't remember why I got in there. I think I wanted to start streaming years ago, and I just, I've stayed in there forever. Yeah. And the thing I keep seeing coming up is, it's all about networking. It's all about networking. Like, your Twitch won't take off unless you network, or But
I don't believe. To be honest, as far as YouTube and Twitch goes, I don't believe that, because you and me took off without knowing anyone.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And then I see all these comments of like, oh, I'm networking and it's not working, and they're like, network harder, spend 4 to 5 hours a day networking, go into other people's streams. Yeah,
it's not that I didn't get any help. Asmongold spotted me. Asmongold watched my stuff, and that gave me a massive boost. But one of the important things when Asmongold found my stuff is that I already had a massive backlog of content. So often networking doesn't always mean actively going out and trying to find people to become friends with to boost yourself up. It means being worth being boosted. A lot of people, networking, you imagine like a load of people in a room, and everyone's shaking everyone's hand, and everyone's being smiley and happy and friendly, because they all believe that everyone else can help them. They want to climb the pile of bodies to get to the very top. If you
hot potato.
You just make the best possible content you can. When someone else discovers it and watches it, if that person has influence and power, that will then transfer over to you. So it's not necessarily about you knowing that person, it's about you providing value to that person, having content to offer. I cannot understate how much Asmongold has helped this channel. He is my absolute savior, coming down and saying, hey, everyone should watch this, and that it took off from there. And if I ever meet the guy, I'll shake his hand and buy him a drink. But I had all the content ready to go, which is what helped me. And I believe
imagine when you gave me the first shout out for the DreamWorld stuff when you discovered my videos. Yeah. Imagine I hadn't got those videos. You could have given me a shout out, but who cares? I
didn't know Cal when I found that. I found his video on DreamWorld. I thought, this is exactly the kind of shit that I want to talk about. I put a sort up for that. People went to go and watch him. Cal contacted me and said, hey, thanks for doing the shout out for that video. I said, it's fine. You've got some good stuff. Keep it going. You've kept it going.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if I hadn't had the content there beforehand, or I hadn't made any after, and you gave me a shout out, my channel still wouldn't have taken off.
Networking is about trying to do what you can to be worth being in the network.
Yes.
A lot of people think networking just means do the bare minimum, meet someone more successful than yourself, and you'll get thrown into the stratosphere. Instead, work at what you can do to make yourself an actual important part of the network. And then when someone with power and influence meets you, they look at you and say, this is worth it. This is worth coming into the network.
Yeah, another good example is networking doesn't have to be you talking to people.
No.
For example, do you know the YouTube channel Cold Fusion? They do a lot of like videos about the future and things
them, not spoke to them.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah. Well, they were doing a video diving into Unreal Engine 5 and the possibilities for the future with it. Realised they don't know a lot about it, saw my video, and just credited me and basically used my video in theirs.
Yeah.
As the explanation of why UE5 is such a a landmark thing. That's networking. They benefit, I benefit.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be you just begging them to feature you and stuff.
A lot of people think that networking means making fake friends with people so you can leech off their success. It means making yourself an important part of the network if you can. Yeah. But this is one of the big problems. A lot of people's content is crap.
Yep.
That's what I've really had to tell a lot of people on Twitch and YouTube. A lot of people's content is bad. But what makes good content, what makes bad content? Because you can have the best script in the world and deliver it badly. You can have a terrible script and deliver it really well.
Yeah.
What makes someone worth watching or not watching? Yeah, 80%, 90% out there is crap. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And in fact, is it Ludwig that proved this recently by starting a secret YouTube channel to show that it's not about who you know. Like you can start a successful YouTube channel by just being good.
Yeah.
And so he made it called like Internet Law or something. And he basically did it without anyone knowing that he was doing it.
Yeah. He proved that if you put good quality content out there, it will be there. But what good quality content is, a lot of people think that it's being given boosts up and help.
Yeah.
It's about becoming worth it. No, so what?
It goes back to retention, doesn't it? Like you gave me that shout out, and I managed to retain those people that came over to the channel. That's what you need to do. It's not networking. It's networking once you've got the retention mechanic there.
Retention is much, much, much more important and much harder than just getting eyes on. Getting eyes on your content is pretty easy. Getting eyes on your content repeatedly and holding them there, that's the hard thing. What other crap advice did I see? Oh, God, yeah, I remember this. I remember, for some reason, I have a vivid memory of this in my head. I was in high school, and we had like an assembly where everyone sits in the hall and the headmaster talks at the front and whatnot. And they had some local businessmen come in to give a speech about some stuff. And the local businessman was giving a speech about stocks and shares. And I remember sat there thinking, I'm a pretty intelligent guy, but I don't know anything about stocks and shares. So anything he said had no real relevance to me. Yeah. And he started saying, oh, when I put £100 into a stock and a share, and I thought £100 at that point in my life was like a massive amount of money.
Huge commitment.
And he goes on and on. And then at the end he says, and if the stock drops below £50, I go out and I buy a picture frame and I frame it and I use it as motivation to not buy that stock again. And I, go and invest in something else. And I still remember thinking, I wish I had 50 quid. That'd be great. Explaining to a bunch of high school kids that if something is only worth 50 quid, it's worthless, is pointless when most of us would love to have 50 quid. At that point, it was someone so disconnected from reality, trying to tell people exactly how they should live.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I've spoken to a few people like that where they're just they're realizing that you need to get to a stage where that money can be thrown away.
Yeah.
And again, that ties back into crypto. People put in life savings into meme or shit coins just because somebody. This is financial advice for everybody, and I'll say that quite clearly.
Cal's about to have the law come down on him.
Yeah, Bezos is about to drop through my ceiling. If you are hearing about a meme coin or a shit coin on media anywhere, you're already too late. Don't even bother.
Yeah, because that's the
BBC. Yeah, if BBC is talking about Dogecoin or something, don't bother.
Yeah, once it hits mainstream, all of the previous buying up at cheap has happened. It's the dump's happening now. You're already too late.
This is the perfect example now. Crypto.com's Crow token is being mentioned everywhere because they've got their like Visa debit cards and stuff. And I bought in way before they were advertising anywhere, like a year, 2 years ago maybe.
Okay.
And I bought into it and no one was talking about it. Well, now that everyone's talking about it, I've made bank off of that because it has skyrocketed. But people who are buying in now, you're buying the dump.
Yeah.
So don't buy it now. Everyone's like, oh, we should get into this while it's on the rise. No, don't.
We've already explained how this is exactly like the RuneScape merchanting clans from years ago. It's just like that. What, oh yeah, that was it. The stupid financial advice I saw from someone. Someone tweeted out, and this is a Twitter pitch that makes the rounds, and it annoys me every single time. They say, if you give a poor person £500, they'll spend £500. You give a rich person £500, they'll invest it and turn it into 5,000.
Yeah, because they don't need to spend that 500.
I think, yeah, that's because the poor people need to spend it immediately. It's because that £500 is going on rent, food, bills, clothing, electric, gas, internet, kids. And it's being spent.
Yeah, and I think this is the saddest part about society right now. Yeah. Everybody would invest if they could.
Yeah. Easily.
And, yeah, easily. Now, here's the thing. I've started investing more since I became self-employed because I don't have the cost to get to work.
Yeah.
I don't have, just infinite petrol and time sinks everywhere.
Yeah.
So I can do that now. It's the whole getting out of, stop being part of the churn where it's just...
But it's very, very, very expensive to be poorer. It's really expensive. There's... Who was it? Oh, my goodness. Dee has just gifted 25 subs to the community. Thank you very, very much.
Damn.
That's a good investment right there.
That's a good investment. Financial advice, gift subs in Josh's
chat.
That
way we can just keep going. That is splashing the cash. But no, one thing that I've seen is it Vimes's theory of economic inequality? I think it's from a Discworld novel, a phenomenally funny book. And it explains that a rich person can go and buy a £100 pair of boots. And this pair will last them for 20 years. Whereas a poor person has to go and buy a £20 pair of boots, which will be wrecked within the year. Because they don't ever have £100 at one time to spend on a good pair of boots. They have to buy the poorer quality constantly and constantly. And it's actually a lot more expensive to be constantly spending these smaller amounts of money instead of... You buy in bulk, you buy better. Boots theory of socioeconomics, that's the one. Thank you. Yes, we got it. It's... It is a difficult thing. So when people say, oh, the reason poor people have less money is because they just spend it. I'm like, yeah, they have to. Because
honestly, that's spot on. So what I've spent the last 2.5 years doing...
Dee, my goodness, thank you very much.
...is just paying off all finances on things, phones. So now when I get a new phone, I buy it outright because I've not got constant things going out of my accounts. Like when my GPU blew up and I had to buy this 3070 Ti, I bought it outright.
Yeah.
Because if I bought it on finance, that £850 is now £1,000.
Yeah.
I've just thrown away £250.
And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible because a lot of people don't realise exactly how expensive it is to buy things at a lower value, but repeatedly, again and again and again and again and again. You give someone who's already got money £500. Yeah, they'll invest it because they can.
Yeah.
You give someone who needs to spend it right now that money, they'll spend it right now on something. It's it has made me realise that since I've been doing bigger YouTube stuff and I've been working with people who have had more money for a lot longer, the different attitudes toward money, I'm glad that I've managed to have the attitude that I have instilled into me, because to me money is still extremely valuable, even if it's a lesser amount to me now, which I'm happy with. I will happily, I'll happily walk an extra 20 minutes if I can save £2 on the bus. Because there were times when I couldn't spend £2 on the bus and the walk was needed. And now I think, hey, I'd rather have the £2, I'll keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of in the same boat where...
Dee, thank you very much for... Oh, goodness me, you've gifted even more subs. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. In fact, that's tier 3 gifts. That is splashing the cash. Thank you.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's your bus paid for. Stop walking,
that's
boy.
The bus paid for. I'm going to buy a bus now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy a bus.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you should say that, because that kind of ties into, like, how much would it cost you to buy a bus or a car? And there's a lot of people that take the bus everywhere. They pay £2 every time, so that's £4 a day, just going to and from places. If you bought a cheap little banger car for £500, just like a little knockabout car, you save all that money within a year.
You know that Rupert Grint, when he was really rich after the Harry Potter films, bought an ice cream van and just drives around in it giving ice cream out to people for free?
No, I didn't know that.
That's what he does.
Awesome, though.
That's what he spends his time doing now. Rupert Grint was just like, I'm buying an ice cream van and I'm giving free ice cream away to people. And he just drives around different parts of England when it's sunny and just gives out ice cream, because that's what really makes him happy. Rupert Grint actually came to the trampoline park that I used to work at, because before I was doing YouTube full time, I worked as a party host on a trampoline park. It was actually a really fun job, and I really enjoyed everyone that I worked with. So, yeah, I would bounce around. I would wear the mascot costume. So...
Oh no.
Oh yeah, there's pictures out there, man. I am not ashamed of it. Okay, we had a huge, big mascot costume, and it was this huge. It's like a circular trampoline with little gloves, and the trampoline itself had like an eye hole cut in it with little black gauze, so you couldn't see it. And I had the blue boots on, and I would run out in the mascot costume. I could do backflips on a trampoline in the mascot costume. Okay, that took absolutely ages to learn to do, but I learned to do it. And we got a call one day saying, Rupert Grint's coming to the trampoline park. Everyone be on your best behaviour. And everyone was like really, really, really hyped up and stuff. Super professional when they got there. Rupert Grint, absolute gent. Just a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Casual, asked everyone how they were doing, walked around, shook everyone's hand. And I think he was there for like his brother's or birthday party or whatever. Had a really nice time.
You find that with a lot of celebrities.
Yeah, just
really nice,
lovely person. Really enjoyed spending time with him. Gave him a wave, gave us a wave back, walked out. Didn't make a big thing of it, didn't make a show of it. It was just like a genuinely decent person.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about something that's just come up in chat. So sure. Stone Golem says the favourite example is the laundromat. In America's got this thing where they don't own washing machines for some reason.
That's weird to us in the UK, by the way.
Super weird, because someone who I was talking to a while back said to me like, "Oh, I haven't got the money to do the laundry." I'm like, "What do you mean you haven't got the money to what like you got no electricity? Like what's going on?" And they were like, "No, it's like $2 to use the laundromat." And I was like, "A washing machine is like £80. Like not even buy a shitty one. Buy one for £50. Get it off Facebook Marketplace." And they're like, "Yeah, but we just don't do that in the US." I'm like, "Well, you should. Like you're complaining that you're having to pay £2 a day to do your laundry."
Yeah.
You won't pay the £50 to never have to pay that £2 again. That's like one of the cheapest investments you could make.
It's weird, isn't it?
That will always pay off. 100% of the time will pay off.
Yeah, it is super weird. In the UK, it's really... By the way, we just had a massive bot attack on the Twitch stream. So a lot of people spamming Twitch ViewBot program. Do up to 1,000 online on any stream. $50, mate. There's 1,500 people on the stream right now. Okay, viewbots, come on, aim also, at people, aim with low accounts. We're already there. Okay, I'm past what you're offering me.
$50. That's your washing machine there.
Straight away. It's weird that everyone in the UK owns a washing machine. Almost everyone. And it's a standard thing. When you buy a house or you rent a house, normally in the kitchen, you've got a washing machine. Sometimes it's a washer dryer. Sometimes you get a separate dryer. Sometimes you just have a load of radiators around the side. It's really weird that we see, and this is in American films all the time, the idea of going to a laundromat. And you put your clothes in, and then this is strange to me, you leave. Because there's always that thing in films where, people go to the laundromat 5 minutes after, open up one of the machines, take people's clothes out, and then run off. I'm pretty sure that's a plot point in Fight Club. Literally there in Fight Club. But that's strange to us. But of course, to Americans, a lot of British things seem quite strange and quite weird.
I don't get it. That's the thing. I don't know whether it's just the fact that the laundromat kind of business is instilled in people's minds or in society so that you don't.
I think it's just one of those things.
I just don't get it.
A lot of people don't own because when you buy a washing machine, I know this podcast is getting very adult, and I don't mean adult in the fun way. I mean adult in we're talking about the logistics of owning a washing machine.
Yeah.
Because you need to have it set up in the kitchen with a water pipe going to the outside, to the drain. You also need to have it with if it's a dryer, you've got like one of those foil tubes of hot air that goes out somewhere else. There's a lot of complexity to set up, and I don't think a lot of American houses were, especially in the inner cities, set up to have a washing machine or a dryer in them.
No, I think that's spot on. There's some people in the chat are saying as well that it's just a plumbing thing.
Yeah, but again,
definitely a lack of plumbing.
Normally, you find it in more centralised locations like cities where plumbing like that will be more complicated. You have a lot of flat blocks with... Because when I was in university, obviously I stayed in one of the university dorm rooms, and not every room has a washing machine. You go down to the communal washing machine and you put your money in there and pay that. But again, it's a lot more it's a lot more expensive to buy things repeatedly in small amounts than it is to buy off one thing.
I mean, let's do the maths on this. Actually, let me get a calculator up. How many times a week do you do laundry?
1. Okay.
Okay. Well, our house is 2.
How many should I do in a week? Probably 2 or 3. You know, I mean,
Right.
it's a pretty big pile of stuff that I've got going on.
So,
I like how I said 1 and the chat's just filling up with sad faces now.
oh no.
If we take it off emote only, I'm going to see what happens. Fantastic.
So, if you buy a $50 washing machine and you spend $2 each time, you will do 26 washes before you should have just bought a washing machine. If you're going to do more than 26 loads of laundry, you should buy a washing machine, and that would be done in a couple of months.
This is the
maybe
sunk
a couple
cost.
of weeks.
This is the sunk cost fallacy. The idea that once you put money into something, you need to keep putting money into the same thing, otherwise the money you put into it previously is wasted.
Yeah.
That's the sunk cost fallacy, man. How many people, because I used to see these, and I'm really glad the government in the UK has clamped down on these, payday loans.
Yeah,
if you can
I know
avoid...
someone who got stung by one of them.
Okay, so if you're in the chat right now and you've never seen the horrific vultures that are the payday loan people, right. You go to a bank, you take a loan out, and normally the idea is that you pay the loan back over a couple of months or possibly a couple of years, and your interest rate is between 5%, 10%, something like that. So you are going to end up paying back more money than you took out, but not by a long shot, just a bit, so the bank makes money. Payday loans are companies who will give you a loan of a small amount of money, and they'll expect it paid back within like a week or two, but the interest rate is about 1,000%. So you borrow 100 quid, next week you got to pay back 110, which would be 1,000% over the year. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Absolutely.
The fact they can
ridiculous.
operate at all is nuts. And this reminds me, so where I used to work, we had this company come in that was going to solve payday loans, and it's a great idea, right?
Yeah.
Where it's an app that the company has to agree to use, where you get paid weekly instead of monthly, but you pay 10% to be able to get paid weekly. And I'm like, here's a crazy idea, right?
Okay.
Just fucking pay me weekly.
Yeah.
It's not a hard concept.
Yeah.
Paying me for weekly is useless. Like, it's useless. It's hurting me as I am out of money by the time it comes around to it.
Yeah.
You're aware there's a problem, but you've gone such a convoluted method of fixing that problem rather than just fixing the problem.
Yeah. It's legalized loan sharking. I remember when I got my first bank account, I loved the attitude that my bank approached me with. It was brilliant. I sat down, I was about 17 or 18, and I was discussing, and the bank manager came over and sat down to me, okay? There's this, I'll never forget it. It was like Gus Fring, okay? Really smartly dressed, super intimidating
well
guy.
presented,
Shaved head, just staring at me. And he said, Mr. Hayes, if you ever take a payday loan out, I will hunt you down and slap you. And I thought, that's the kind of honesty that I want from my bank. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the kind of genuine advice that I want a banker to give me. And I was like, why? He's like, because it will tank your credit rating, it will do this, it will do this, it will do this. This is all things that will happen. Don't do it. But unfortunately, a lot of people in the world are in a position where they need that loan. If it's a choice between not eating for a week or eating but owing more money next week, you're going to take eating. Yeah. That's a real shame for it. I really, really dislike the fact that it's a horrible... I mean, you can look into it. Payday loans. Payday loans, man. Try, if you can, to avoid them. I know it seems great to get like, £200 now and pay $220 back next week, but really try to avoid them. Not financial advice, just common sense.
But then when it comes around to next week and you can't pay it back, and now you're paying $280 back the next day,
what do you do?
And then you can't afford to pay the $280, so it's now $350 the next day. It's a snowball thing that will fuck you over. It's not made to help you. It is made to screw you over. They want you to be late on repayments.
People, they do. They absolutely want you to be late. People in the chat are asking what's wrong with Callum's lights. Allow me to tell you how you can ruin Callum's day.
Oh no.
Callum foolishly many months ago set this up, and he hasn't changed it yet. If you follow Callum, if you go over to his Twitch right now and follow him, his lights flash. And if you subscribe, his lights flash more. But he's set it up so all of it just stacks. And it just gets put into a list.
Yep, here we go.
The last time I did this, I remember what happened. The last time I did this, like 500 people went over to Cal and followed him or subscribed or whatever. And it just stacked up this huge amount of light stuff. Has it started, Cal?
It's
starting. So nothing's wrong. Cal just decided to, blind himself with a flashbang every time someone wants to follow. So, my camera, my Twitch stream can't even keep up with it because the compression rate on the changing colours.
Also, you can send me to space, hence why I'm now in a galaxy.
Oh, what's the trigger for the galaxy thing?
You spend your, what they're called, points, channel points.
Oh, channel points.
You can actually change the color of the lights to any color by using a channel point redemption.
Oh, cool! I actually didn't know you got that.
It'll change that color for a minute.
Yeah. People are saying I thought something was wrong with my monitor. No. Cal just set up a very foolish ability for people to. There it is. There's the big flashing that's going to go on. I like knowing that once we've got like 1,500 people in the stream, I'm going to just send everyone to follow you to do that to you.
I'm looking at the app.
It warms my heart.
Oh no.
Didn't we crash it last time?
We broke it, yeah. But I made a fix since then, so there's the subscribers going off. Brilliant.
People have realised they can change your lights
RGB. Now. No. That RGB is from a subscription. So if you sub, it doesn't flash white, it flashes RGB.
But you can stack again, can't it? It just stacks
They're all
up and
stacked.
up.
So there's currently 57 actions waiting to take place.
Fantastic. So while we're chatting, Cal's just going to have 57 versions of flashing lights going off in his face. Lovely.
Pretty much.
Lovely. Whenever we have like a house party, you're going to be responsible for setting things up like this.
Oh, this works. Do you know what? I forget to turn this off sometimes. Oh man, Ranigan's subbing for tier 1 6 months in advance. He's getting that flash queued up.
That's very kind of him. Someone's just commented saying it's also a problem with renting versus buying. Very true. Isn't it weird how if someone says, hey, I can afford to rent this house for, £500 a month or whatever, or rent this room for however many pounds a month, but you go and try and get a mortgage from a bank and they say, yeah, your mortgage will be less than your rent, but we're not going to give it to you because you can't prove that you can pay the money back because you don't have enough money saved up. And you're like, well, no, I've been spending it all on the rent. It would be so much cheaper to get a mortgage and pay the mortgage back over several years, but you can't give me the mortgage because I spent all the money on the rent.
Yeah, exactly. It's this philosophy in the UK right now, which is don't rent because it's a trap you will not get out of.
It's horrible.
My sister's had it as well. My sister's got a pretty good paying job, but she wanted to check if her and the fella that she's seeing, can live together, so they rented. And she's now realised, well, shit, I've just eaten through my deposit, and I can't save for a deposit now.
Now, I will defend renting in one way. I rented a house for a long time. Now, my landlord was great. I was lucky enough to have a really good landlord. I came home one day and there was a new washing machine, and my landlord said, oh yeah, I bought you a new washing machine because it was on sale somewhere. And I said, you know that we didn't need one. The old one worked fine. And he was like, yeah, I just saw a new one and thought the house is going to need one eventually. Here's a new one. But no, my landlord, it was a good friend of mine, actually. It was weird the way that I met him. When I was talking to him, I mentioned that I was an actor, and the dude wanted to get into theatre producing. So he found a play, and I acted in his play, and we got on really well together. He was like a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
The thing that I like about renting, and I know that it's a financial trap, and people will always tell you it's a financial trap, I liked the freedom that it brought to go anywhere. Yes. I liked the fact that you could rent a room, you could pay £300 or £400 a month, however much you were paying, you could work at your job, you could save some money up, you weren't responsible for anything, and if you wanted to move somewhere else in the country, you had no real ties. You could give your landlord a couple of months' notice or a week's notice or whatever, and just move and rent somewhere else. It's very freeing. There are advantages to a lifestyle that rents.
Yeah. But then the counter to that would be if you own the house.
Yeah, go rent it.
And not mortgaged, owned.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere anyway. You could then rent it out to someone else.
Absolutely.
And this is a huge problem. People are mortgaging houses to rent them out.
Do you think Airbnb is a side of that as well? Because I've heard people are buying up houses in decent new estates or cities just to use them as Airbnb portfolio pieces, which means people who actually want to live in that city can't live there because someone needs a fifth Airbnb house.
I think, sadly, this is the way everything in the world's going. Look at it like this. Uber, the biggest taxi company, doesn't own any cars.
No, it doesn't. So
Amazon, the big retailer, doesn't own any stock.
No.
Airbnb, the biggest B&B, retailer, doesn't own any property.
Yeah. That is decentralized. That is weirdly decentralized. When you look at it's the thing that Uber owns no cars. And Uber Eats, probably one of the biggest food delivery services, owns no restaurants. You make a lot of money by being the middleman, especially if you're a middleman in... People are lazy. People are... a lot of money has been made off people being lazy. You've got restaurants that deliver food. You've got people that want food. But every restaurant has a different website, a different app, a different method to order. You have to phone them up. A lot of people don't like talking on the phone. Uber Eats came along and said, hey, we're just going to, condense all that. We're going to generalize it all. We're going to standardize food ordering, and you do it through us. And they've managed to solve a problem of standardization.
And I think we'll have to get to a point where we meet resistance with this, because Peloton, for example, I'm sure you heard about that.
They're the fitness machine things, aren't they?
Yeah, the fitness machines. You would buy a Peloton bike for £1,800, and then you could not physically pedal on that bike until you pay a monthly subscription, despite the fact you own it, which is nuts.
Because when I first heard about
people
Peloton...
bought it.
Because Peloton, to me, seemed like fitness for really wealthy people.
Yeah.
Like, you could go to Argos and just buy a treadmill. We did. At the start of the whole lockdown, like 2 years ago, we've got a treadmill downstairs in the living room. It's not a crazy, all singing, all dancing treadmill, but it moves and we can walk on it. And then Peloton was extremely expensive and required a monthly subscription to even use.
But like you say, there's people that defended that as well. And they were like, yeah, but you pay monthly for your phone. And they're like, yes, but I didn't buy it upright, upfront outright.
Yeah.
Like, they're now making me rent something that I already physically own.
Yeah. And this is the live service model that's becoming a thing. You don't own anything. You buy access to something and then rent access to it constantly. And if they take it away from you, that's fine. Wasn't there a coffee machine? Because it was a phrase, the Internet of Things. That's the phrase. The Internet of Things is everything is connected. Wasn't there a Keurig coffee machine where if you didn't put the exact Keurig cups in it, it had a little microchip that worked that out and didn't do anything?
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
If I buy a coffee
I can't remember
machine,
who it was.
If I buy a coffee machine, I expect you to make coffee out of anything I put into you.
Do you know what my favourite subscription thing at the moment is? Have you seen the Virgin water purifier, probably advertised on all social media? I keep seeing it everywhere. You have to pay £400 for a water purifier that, can do hot or cold water instantly and whatever. Basically a kettle, right? But you have to pay £30 a month to be able to use it, a subscription. Even though you've just bought it outright.
Just get a Brita filter. Just get one of those jugs that has filter cartridges in the top and just pour them in. And then use the filter cartridge for like 2 months longer than it says you should use it for.
Yeah. Someone else says Juicero. Juicero.
Oh, Juicero. Oh, God. Have you read about Juicero? Did you see the actual... Oh, God. So, Juicero, however you pronounce it. It was a juicer maker machine. But it wasn't just a juice maker machine where you put the fruit in. What you had to do, get this. You had to buy sachets of pre-juiced pulp that you put in the Juicero machine, and then it squeezed the sachets for you, and the juice came out the sachet. So the juice was actually in the sachet.
Yeah.
All the machine did was squeeze it. You could literally just buy the sachets, cut them open, and squeeze.
Pour it. Yeah.
It was the same thing. But they're selling you the proprietary method to get juice out of a packet.
Yep.
But someone will buy it and will defend it as the Internet of Things. I remember someone tweeting out, I think it was Mod Matt K. If you don't follow Mod Matt K on Twitter, he's an ex-Jagex moderator. Guy's funny as hell. He keeps his Jagex connections up and just tweets shit about RuneScape whenever he wants to. And I think Mod Matt K tweeted out, have just had to update the firmware on my light bulb. Because you have one of those colour-changing light bulbs that you control from your phone, and it wouldn't work until he updated the software on his phone.
Yeah.
It's getting to me. It's a weird world we live in when you have to unplug your book to charge your cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you say it like that, it sounds really weird.
Like, are you having this issue where in your house you don't have enough places to charge things?
I mean, I'm going to be real with you, Cal.
Yeah. So I have the same issue. Now,
I've got a couple of extension leads.
If anybody ever breaks into my house to try and steal things, I challenge them to. Because here's what I've done, right? I ran out of plugs. I've got a single plug behind here, and as you know, I've got like 3 monitors, a PC, 2 key lights, a ring light, all this shit, tons of shit, and like a drawing tablet, 3D printer.
Yeah.
So what I've had to do is I've got a server down there. Mm-hmm. The server is plugged into the wall, but inside the server, I've got 3 rack-mounted lights, extension splitters. So everything's plugged into the server, and if you want to unplug it, you have to unlock the server to take it out. So if anyone tries to rob my house, they've got to take the server with everything that's plugged into it. And I challenge them to do that.
It's an easy way to do it.
Someone like Takeshi's Castle.
I Am the Lion says, bro, you can't do that. He can, and he has. It's not a good idea to do it, but what is a good idea and what Callum will do, the Venn diagram of that is just 2 circles.
Yeah.
That don't touch.
It's like Earth 2's new land on release day. It's just 2 completely overlapping.
He did it out of spite. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People have said, why do I have all of the extension leads on hand? Well, you see, I have a box of wires that I've not yet got around to throwing out. And the box is just... It's quite a big box. I discovered in it a load of SCART leads, a lead for a PlayStation 2, some leads for a phone that I don't even own anymore. This is just my box of wires. Who doesn't have a box of wires? Come on, everyone has a box of wires.
I've got one on the floor behind me. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I've got to sort it out. It's all on the floor.
Everyone has a box of wires. Standard stuff. I mean, if people... I am ready for the entire neighbourhood to walk over and go, Josh, we need a 3-pin kettle lead. I'm like, not a problem. I've got more 3-pin kettle leads than I know what to do with. And then someone will say to me, hey, do you have a charger for a 1997 Gillette Razor Model 5? And I'm like, it just so happens I have that exact proprietary charger.
I am glad you brought up razors. So I know someone's going to call me stupid for this. Okay. I had an epiphany the other day.
Okay.
So after living in Sweden for like best part of a year, I got used to those little 2-prong plugs. And
yes.
So I'd be walking around plugging my razor into anything there, just having a shave in the kitchen or whatever.
Yes.
And it just hit me the other day that that's literally what the razor plug is. It's just a European plug.
Yeah, I mean...
Yes. Don't ask me why this is an epiphany that needed to happen.
Like when you go to a hotel... To be fair, this is weird. He's got a point with this. If you ever go to a hotel or a motel or anywhere, and there's like a... In the bathroom, there'll be like a little faceplate, and there'll be is it a 120 volt and a 240 volt?
240,
there'll be 2 different ones with 2 little prongs, and English razors don't have that. But it is an American thing.
Yeah, it's just really bizarre. Why do we use that for a razor and not, I don't know, a plug?
I've also found it weird that there's an outlet in the bathroom. Like, that room is the room that gets full of water.
Yeah.
It's the room with running... It always struck me as odd that there's a live electrical plug in a bathroom. It doesn't seem like the right thing to...
No.
It's a waterproof outlet. I'm sure it probably is a waterproof outlet. Hairdryers. They're also for hairdryers.
But you can't plug a hairdryer into a 2-prong.
You could if it's an American one. It confuses us Brits to see 2-pronged plugs. We don't know what to do with them. Okay? It genuinely confuses all of us to see.
I've got one here somewhere that people can...
Cal is going to try and find one now.
No need to try.
Yeah, of course he's got it on hand. Why would he not have it on hand?
That's what I'm on about with the 2 prongs, for those who don't know. Just like why? Why use that?
We can't
Surely
agree.
You could just adapt that to a plug.
No, I mean, this is what you're talking about, Cal, is creating the electrical metaverse.
Exactly. Just
We need to create the electrical metaverse so we can all agree together and put it all together. Yeah.
because the issue here is we plug it into the same voltage that our entire house is on
People
anyway.
are saying that's a plug and that we're the wrong ones. No, that's a plug.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a plug with the square edges.
Yeah.
Okay? The square edges. That is a correct... That is a God-made, intended, natural plug.
Yeah.
That is what all plugs in the world should look like. If your plugs don't look like that, you are wrong.
You're in the wrong country.
You are. The Brit... Some people in the chat are very angry. Very angry that we have wrong plugs. And we drive on the wrong side of the road. Yes, we do. This is what caused Brexit.
Our plugs, you don't walk past them and knock them out to the wall. They actually stay in there.
You step on them and they cause untold pain.
Yeah.
I suppose that's what American plugs do have going for them. The fact that because a lot of their rounded backs, they kind of fall to the side. Whereas with the English plugs, because the back of a plug is flat, the plug will lie like that, facing up. Which means
feet.
Stepping on a plug is like stepping on a Lego. That's what it is.
Yeah. Also, something that I realised when I was living in Sweden, other countries don't have a switch next to the plug. You have to unplug it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why. Genuinely.
Little switch?
No switch.
You switch
Anyone
it on,
here
there's a
in Sweden?
red line on the top of it?
No. You unplug it if you want it off. You plug it in. See, people are saying in the chat, switch.
I'm pretty sure I've got a switch on the extension lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. I mean, they're on the extension lead. You turn whether the plug is on or off.
Everyone's here going, wait, every plug has a switch for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep the plug in all the time. And when
in fact,
you
I'm gonna get a picture of the one
turn it
under
on.
my desk if I can see it. Where even is it?
You keep the plug in literally all the time.
Yeah, there's no reason.
I'm pretty sure all of my extension leads have switches on them. Why would you not have that? You have a switch on the device. Right. My computer has a switch on the computer.
Switch right next to the plug.
Did you just take a picture of your plug?
I did.
Never delete that. Because in many years' time, you'll be drunk
NFT.
one day. It's an NFT. The NFT of the plug right there. Yeah, so you switch the computer off, then I switch off the extension lead the computer's plugged into, then I switch off the plug on the wall that the extension lead's plugged into. 3 switches.
So here's the thing. People are saying, who unplugs anyway? That's the thing. You don't need to.
You don't unplug. You just turn the plug off so you know it's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe anyway, but now it's safe too. Doubly safe. Twice as safe. And if you're an old person, you have a habit of turning all the plugs off in the house before you leave. And then when you come back, you turn all the plugs back on. It's a thing that old people do.
Yeah, I've noticed. I don't know why.
Yeah, my grandparents do it. My grandparents like, we're leaving the house, I'll just turn the TV off at the plug. And he turns it off at the plug. And then he comes back and he'll turn it back on. And the TV does that weird fuzzy thing and then reboots back up. You do it, don't you?
I feel like you do.
The only plug that I turn off and on is downstairs. We have one of those Glade air fresheners plugged in that kind of does that little splurt thing every like 15 minutes or whatever. So I turn that off at night time because the house smells fine during the night. And then I turn it on in the morning. So the house continues smelling nice. Not sponsored by Glade, just something we do.
Yeah, I mean, I've got... Every plug in my house is a smart plug. Because it's just easier, so I can do... Alexa, turn on the space projector.
That's pretty cool.
I don't need to move.
I don't have that yet, but when I have my amazing... Do you also unscrew your light bulbs? Who doesn't? No, who doesn't? Every day ends with unscrewing all the light bulbs, taking everything out the freezer, and the day starts putting it all back in, screwing the light bulbs back on, rebooting the boiler.
Cushions on the bed.
Yeah.
I hate people who do that. My ex did that. It drove me fucking mad.
My partner has a lot of plushy toys. Like, we have a massive Pikachu and a huge shark. I'll go and get them. Right now they're in the spare room because they cannot fit on the main bed. But I came back one day and she said, Josh, I've bought a dinosaur. And there was a dinosaur.
This is the sort of partner I need.
Josh, I've bought a Pikachu.
Oh, that's cute.
And then it was Josh, I've bought a shark.
Wait, is that the Yogscast shark?
There's more.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
My bedroom has a... Thanks, gorgeous. Yeah, when I say that my bedroom has been taken over by soft plushy toys of various sizes and varieties, I wasn't kidding.
Josh, is your bed in that room that you're in?
There's a spare bed in this room.
Ah, okay.
This is the bed that I sleep on whenever I've been working on stuff all night and just need to fall asleep immediately and can't just walk across the hall to the actual bedroom. Thank you, gorgeous. Now, here's one thing that I do need to talk about. And again, not sponsored. Cal, have you ever bought an Oodie? Or has anyone in the chat bought or worn an Oodie?
I refuse to buy it because they keep advertising.
Mate, I'm not going to lie. Shit is comfy.
Mm.
Okay? Basically, an Oodie is like a massive hoodie, but made of really soft material. Oodie. It's basically a blanket that you wear with a hood and arms.
You know, like the beach towels that you could wear? It's kind of like that, but for bed.
Yeah, imagine the beach towels, but they're super duper warm. I've woken up in the morning, just put an Oodie on, and just done my whole day like that, and then just gone to bed. It's kind of like...
How much are they?
When you're having a pajama day, and it's not called a hoodie, it's called an Oodie, O-O-D-I. Again, not sponsored, but they're really comfy. I think they're like 30 or 40 quid. So a Snuggie is basically the same thing. Yeah, Snuggie is kind of the same. Like a onesie, but without legs. A onesie, but without legs. Yeah, so a Snuggie. Again, really comfortable. It's just...
Okay.
The problem is that do you ever feel... I know this Tangent Tavern is going on a while. We'll end it at some point soon. Do you ever feel that when you get dressed in the morning, the clothes that you wear can actually affect your attitude for the rest of the day?
Yep.
So
I was thinking about this literally yesterday.
Yeah, I have a bit of a habit, and I've noticed this. When we were talking about the psychology of costumes back in university, there's a reason that extremely successful people, or people in high-powered positions, wear the same clothes every day. And it's because it's less decisions, and you feel strong and powerful. You feel tough. Wearing a suit is a great way to make yourself feel kind of powerful, to make yourself feel ready. It's why I've gone with the white shirt and the waistcoat. I feel comfortable and I feel competent in what I'm doing. When I wake up and I put on a Snuggie or I just put pajamas on all day, I am nowhere near as productive.
No.
In the day. I'm comfy, but I am nowhere near as productive.
Yeah, it's kind of like drawing a mental line, isn't it? Between I'm out of bed and...
Yeah. It's that mental focus of, okay, I'm in this mode. I'm in this one now. I'm ready. You've got to get partially dressed.
Yeah.
So I don't want to buy another Snuggie or Oodie just because I know that I would be tempted to wear it every day. And I need to focus on getting up and getting dressed, and that gives me the mental energy to go through the rest of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Because here's the thing. I think if you wake up and you're just knocking around in your underwear, doing your daily stuff in the house, you know that you can just flop back into bed at any point. But if you're dressed, you kind of that's a write-off now.
Again, and it's that mental one. But and again, this might be a sign of depression. It's difficult to find the motivation to do something even when you know you should do it.
Yeah.
People just say, oh, it's simple, just do it. Just wake up, just get dressed, just brush your teeth, just go and have a shower, just go and have a productive day. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know all this. You know, people that don't do that, it's not that they don't know that they should do that. It's that you just don't care.
Yeah.
And I went through that for years, man. Absolutely years. I would wake up and I would think, right, I need to drink some water, I need to hit the treadmill, I need to, get dressed, wash my hair, brush my teeth, do all this. Or I could just flop onto the sofa and watch Supernatural all day.
And here's the reason: it's that instant gratification, isn't it? You don't
It
get
is.
that from those things, but if you go and watch Supernatural, you get the instant gratification.
Knowing what you should do is not enough to make you do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that. Knowing what you should do to achieve something does not mean you are going to go and do it.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. People that boast about waking up at 5 a.m. Anyone can wake up at 5 a.m. It sucks, but you can wake up at 5 a.m. once or twice. It's getting into the habit and the routine that keep you doing it. This has been the strangest but weirdly most entertaining Tangent Tavern. Real vibes. I think this is just what happens when we just start talking about stuff that matters to us, along with games.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But I do think we should probably call it a day at some point, because it is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that long. It doesn't seem that
No,
long.
it doesn't seem that long. By the way, for anyone watching, I have got all the episodes up on the Tangent Tavern YouTube channel now.
Brilliant,
we are
thank
up
you.
to date.
Do you want me to send any more of those numbered thumbnails?
Yes, I am out of numbered thumbnails, so I will have a few of them.
I will send those across to you. But no, thank you very much, guys. If you've joined us, thank you so much to everyone who has gifted some subscriptions out. That's incredibly kind of you as well. And to everyone who's jumped over to Callum's and followed and subs to him. Cal,
we finally got the queue done now. The queue's finished. We're done.
His lights have chilled. Cal, what's the plan for videos for the next week?
So, DreamWorld again tomorrow, as always. There's a few. There's a game that I was given early access to for content creation, and it's called Sunnyside.
Okay, what's it about?
It is a Japanese farming simulator.
Okay.
But I tell you what, it's from a small indie company that have just killed it. They've absolutely killed it. It's so good.
Farming simulators were popular. You had Animal Crossing, you had Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
They were relaxing, fun games.
Imagine that crossed with Persona.
Oh, okay.
You're wandering around, meeting people. I can get you a key for it if you want, a content creator key.
I'm going to be honest, man. My work schedule is already rammed.
Bombarded.
So I normally I try and put out at least 2 videos a week, a Wednesday video and a Saturday video, but I might need to delay. And this is a question I want to ask everyone on the chat. I think quality is more important in the long run than quantity.
Yeah.
And I'm at a position now where, you know, my Was It Good series over on Josh Strife Plays, my latest Was It Good is Pokemon the First Generation, so red, blue and yellow. And I've been working on that video for about 3 weeks. If I put out a Wednesday MMO update news video, that Pokemon video will be pushed back another 3 or 4 days. Or I could work on the Pokemon Was It Good video, which I think will be a lasting video for the next 3 or 4 years, and not put out a Wednesday video. And I honestly think at this point in time, focusing on long-term, evergreen, quality content is going to be better for the channel's life and longevity than, you know, every 2 days MMO news. Because I think Kira's pretty much got that covered, to be honest.
Kira is just killing. I don't know how that man does it.
He's an absolute
no idea how the man does it.
Yeah. If you guys need daily updates on the MMO stuff, Kira TV. For daily updates, it's way better than me.
Oh god, yeah. Like, this is something else that's kind of bugged me. I want to be able to put out some more videos than usual, and I won't be able to do them as premieres where I sit around and stream after, because they'd be unscheduled kind of videos.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what the difference between premiere and non-premiere will do, because they hyper promote premieres.
Yeah. I think the reason that premieres are so useful is YouTube often judges your content based on how many people watched it at the start. So if you can have a premiere and you get that boost of 1,000 views at the start, it's going to start to steamroll. And the great thing about premieres is if they then segue, and this is why I do it, Twitch, by the way, if you can segue the premiere viewers directly into a Twitch stream, you can keep that kind of energy and flow and amount of people going.
I stole that from you because I looked at it and I was like, why is no one doing this? I was like, this is such a good idea. It really is. But yeah, other than that, I've got another video coming out, hopefully. I might be putting 4 videos out next week.
Sweet.
Or this week.
That'll be good.
Or it'll be this week or next week. But I've made another game out of spite. And I think this one will kick up the hornet's nest.
Brilliant. So yeah, a lot of the chat are saying quality over quantity. Quantity is good for the algorithm, but the algorithm is only useful for building a community.
Yeah.
And having 1 million subscribers but no one watching your videos means your community is actually zero. The community that we've got now is at least 200,000 people, which is insane without the algorithm's help. So I think I'm actually at a point now where I can stop trying to appease the algorithm and just give the people what they want. Give the viewers something evergreen and something quality they can come back to again and again. And that's it's a comfortable place to be in. Yeah. You have a base game going, no point rushing for it. Where do we play Callum's games? Callum, all these games you make, are they ever going to be available for public play?
Some of them I can't release for public play because I will be sued into the underground.
Gotcha.
But no, not really. Nightmare World will be the only one you'll be able to play. Actually, no, I tell a lie. The one I'm working on now, you will be able to play. Everyone will be able to play. And here's the most exciting part. There will be no download.
Oh, it's going to be in the browser?
No.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
I've worked some magic, and after this, I'll give you a preview, and I think this will blow your mind.
We'll look into this. Right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us for this episode of the Tangent Tavern. It's been lovely. Yes. It's been a long one, but I think we've talked about some interesting stuff. So thank you very much for your time.
It has.
I will see you I'll stream on Wednesday, but I probably won't have a video out for Wednesday, just because I would rather make the Pokemon video, and I'll see you on Saturday as usual. Cal, when's your next video out? Is it
tomorrow? So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow after video.